Jamie, I don't know if you realize this or not, but you were basically a toy to me. Like, I live inside your head rent free, and you don't even realize it. And it drives you crazy that you can't irritate me the way I irritate you. Partly because you don't have the IQ to do so. Sad, isn't it?
I am your daddy.
You're going to have to do better than that if you're looking to
I
offend
am
me.
your daddy. You know I'm your daddy. I'm your fucking daddy, yeah?
You said that already. You don't need to repeat it. Like I said the first time, it does not offend me.
No, I'm repeating all I want. I'll do it. I'll do anything that I want. You're not. You have zero control over me, my friend. I will do exactly how I please.
Then you will be removed as you just were. I don't think you understand how this works, dude. You're on my channel vying for my attention. You're a guest. You follow my rules. When you speak, it's because I'm giving you enough consideration to, I guess, to grant you that is one way of putting it. Like, it's really hilarious that you don't get this very basic concept.
You are evil, bro. You're evil. You see somebody getting shot on fucking social media and you make a video about it, laughing about it. You're evil, bro. That's what the left is. You're all fucking evil, and you're getting exposed for it once and for all this week because there's so many of you doing it. You're getting exposed. You're straight up. There is no fucking doubt about it. Evil people. There's something fucking wrong with you in the head. You're sick.
The irony of your statement is hilarious, and it seems to be
no. There is no irony because the right aren't out there. The right aren't out there fucking assassinating the left. Right? It's the other way around.
Hold on.
It's the other way around.
Your everything you say is emotional. I go by facts.
It's not emotional. It's facts. It's absolute facts.
Hold on. By the actual facts, about 90% of all extremist killings are by the right wing. That's a fact. I didn't make it up.
Are they? Great. So give me examples here then, Fops. Go on.
Do you want me to pull it up for you?
No. You don't need to pull it up. It should be inside your head. It should be inside your head. It should be ready to go. Go on.
Let me explain something for you. So I know you're confused. So whether or not, hold on, whether or not,
stop buying time and get on with it.
Whether or not I personally can provide whatever you're looking for is irrelevant. What matters is, am I correct? And I am. That's what matters.
Right.
I'm not looking. Hold on. I'm not looking to prove to you that I'm a genius. I don't care about that. All I care about is the truth, and I'm right. That's what matters.
You keep saying that. I'm looking for examples here. Give me the examples because I can give them to you in 2 seconds. Yeah. There was 2 people last year tried to assassinate Trump. Yeah. And then there was Charlie Kirk was murdered yesterday. Murdered on live cam, right? By one of your fucking associates. Yeah. So you give
hold on. You're being emotional again. Do you realize that?
I'm not being emotional. I'm doing facts. I'm giving you facts.
Let me explain why nothing you just said is a fact. For one, they're anecdotes. You're cherry picking things. You're not taking all data. You're only covering the things that prove your point, or you're trying to anyway, and I'm not allowing it. So another point.
You have to accept it. It is what it is.
Another point that you just made that was incorrect is you said that it's my side. The guy that killed Charlie Kirk was an extremist right-winger, not just a right-winger. He was like Nick Fuentes, neo-Nazi.
And he was what? Hold on a second. He was what? A right-winger?
Yes, he was. This is very basic knowledge.
You are sick, mate. You are really sick in the fucking brain, honestly.
See, so you can't accept reality.
All over the news right now, they're saying that he was this, that, and the other. He was calling Charlie Kirk a fascist. Yes, he was.
No, they're not. They're not saying that.
He was. Yes, he is. Yes, they were. Yes, they were.
Do you know anything? Do you know anything? Do you know anything about? Do you know anything about the person?
Yeah, I do know a lot about him. Yeah.
What do you know? Well, this is amusing. So tell me about him. Tell me.
His name is Tyler Robinson, and
Correct.
and his dad was actually law enforcement, wasn't he, for 30 years or something like that?
Yep.
And he was calling Charlie Kirk like a couple of weeks ago at a dinner. He was calling him a fascist.
Yes.
So if you were right, okay. So if you were right wing, you wouldn't be calling Charlie Kirk a fascist, would you?
Incorrect. Incorrect.
You call him the opposite.
Jamie.
So what he was he was a left wing extremist,
Not
and
true.
he went out there and he shot Charlie Kirk through the neck.
So hold on. Your evidence is he called Charlie Kirk a fascist, therefore he has to be on the left. That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life, dude.
Well, why would you shoot one of the heroes of the right if you're on the right?
You do realize that not everybody has this binary way of thinking that you do. You're retarded. I'm sorry, but you're retarded.
Oh, you are so basic, Probs. You are so basic. Like, I mean, to try and hide the fact that this guy is a leftist extremist, like
I'm not trying to hide it.
It's embarrassing. This is embarrassing that you're trying to say that he's on the left, like, or on the right. Sorry,
Jamie, I have no problem with you saying what you want, but stop interrupting me, or I'm going to mute you.
You can mute me all you want. You don't want to hear the truth, mate. You were trying to say that he's fucking on the right wing. What are you talking about?
Hold on. What you're trying to do right now is what I call the Ben Shapiro. You're trying to overtalk me to where I can't correct you.
Go on then. Don't work. Correct me.
Well, for one, I already did. The facts have come out that he is a Mormon. For one, he was raised in an extremely Republican household. That doesn't automatically, and by the way, I'm not doing what you're doing and jumping to conclusions. I'm not claiming 100% that he was Republican, whatever, but according to the facts that we have right now, he's in fact, he's so right-wing that he basically killed Charlie Kirk because he wasn't extreme enough.
Right. So your evidence is that because he was brought up in a Republican household, I haven't seen that anywhere. But your evidence is that because he was brought up in a Republican household, that he's right wing. That's your thing to say, yeah.
That's part of it. You're excusing
no, not part of it. Okay, so go on, give me the rest of it.
Well, I already did, and you ignored it. Now you're focusing only on the fact that he brought up in a Republican household. By the way,
we both know he's an extreme leftist. We both know he.
We don't.
Yes,
only you are that retarded.
100% we do. Anyway, besides the fact, whatever he is, I couldn't give a fuck. He did what he did, right? And you celebrated it. And that's evil, bro.
No, like, honestly, I did not.
He's a human being, and you fucking celebrate it.
I love how fake you are. You are all of a sudden. Hold on, all of a sudden you're pretending like all lives matter and I care about all human life. No, you fucking don't. People die in Gaza left and right, and you act like you don't give a shit. So fuck you and your fake ass shit, dude.
Yeah,
nobody's had this whole conversation on Andy's
Shut your mouth, you Australian cunt. You Australian prick, shut your mouth.
He's going to be all lovey-dovey for the family now all of a sudden.
Lovey-dovey. Listen, I do I come onto YouTube and start celebrating deaths in Gaza? No, I don't. I don't come onto YouTube and start celebrating deaths in Gaza.
Adorable too.
Listen, purple hair. You keep your fucking little voice down there, yeah, you little fucking pussy. I don't come onto YouTube and celebrate.
Adorable, Jamie. Yeah, you're going to have a conversation
like you two pussies on your fucking celebrating everything over Charlie Kirk. You're sick, mate. You're sick.
Odd has not interrupted you. You keep on interrupting Odd and act like shut the fuck up, pussy, blah, blah, blah. We don't do that here.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you straight up there what you are, Trobs, yeah? And honestly, I'm not even going to deny it to you. I would stamp on your head, Trobs. I would stamp on your head.
Have a conversation, and it's really adorable to hear how you crash out all the time.
Yeah, I'm crashing out because of evil, bro. I'm calling out straight evil. Straight evil. There's no yes, no, yesterday, whatever. You boys are evil, mate. You're on YouTube, yeah, and you're laughing about a guy's death, like a guy who fucking was assassinated. Like, you're sick.
Why are you talking when other people talk?
Because I want to talk. I want to talk cunt. Do you understand?
This
I
is
want
what
to
You're
this
uneducated and don't know how to have a
I'm more
conversation.
educated than you. I've got more money than you, Odyssey. I've got more. I don't need to worry about money like you. Yeah, you're over in Australia. You're an old man and you're fucking worried about money all the time. I'm not. I've got so much money,
This is
mate.
adorable.
I laugh you in.
Jamie, I warned you repeatedly. Warned you repeatedly. You wouldn't listen. I gave you the opportunity to speak your view. I didn't have a problem even when you were calling me names. The issue was you're not allowing people to talk. You're too emotional. You need to calm the fuck down and quit being a retard. Thank you. Like, it's fine. It's fine that you disagree with me. No problem. But you have to let people express their views. That's the whole purpose of this. It's why it exists. Gadwin, you're in the backstage, but it says devices not connected. So I can't add you. Hello,
I
Andy.
see my other fans jumped up as well.
There you go.
Hey, Gads.
My mic down. My mic, when it's up, it's in deactivated mode.
It's all good. Jamie, if you want to come back, you're going to have to wait like 5-10 minutes or something, because obviously I can't just tell you and then you're going to listen. You don't listen. And then, like, even then you go even further and go, fuck you, I do what I want. I fucking say what I want. Like, dude, you're a child.
Yep. Yeah, came right at the end of that.
You should be thanking me for giving you the fucking option to speak your view. I don't have to. I could turn this into like an extreme leftist circle jerk, which I do everything I can to avoid, but I don't do that. I let people speak their mind if they're willing to fucking let other people speak. You won't do it. That's your fault. Don't blame it on me. Hello, Andy.
Hey, how you doing? Oh, I've got some crazy image up.
It's all good. I can't complain.
Hey.
Howdy.
I'm lagging as well, I think.
How can you tell?
Because I've got the studio open.
I was just on this stream before. We were having a few issues with, I believe he was trying to do too much with his computer. Needs a little bit more RAM on his laptop.
I have that problem sometimes. Hold on, I've got something in private chat. Fuck your stream, you evil pussy.
Oh my God. Some people, they never grow up. Some people just like hit like teenage years and then that's where they stay. Their mental capacity never exceeds that.
I'm not trying to attack Jamie because he's not able to defend himself, but I will say
some people,
that's true. That's true. I agree with you in general.
It wasn't a directed at him. It was just
that's fine.
General.
I get it. I'm explaining me. Like, I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but like, dude, like, I don't even care that you think I'm evil. I just want to hear you explain without getting all emotional why you think so, and then allow me to counter it with my personal perspective of why I'm not. But you don't allow that. You want to Ben Shapiro and like, blah, 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 like someone tries to talk to you. Blah, blah, blah. It's like you're trying to win by making it to where your opponent can't speak. And that's not a valid form of argument.
That's kind of like how Kirk did it too.
Sometimes. So sometimes he would let his opponent speak. Now, it's worth noting he almost exclusively engaged with college kids.
Yeah, kids mostly.
Yeah, so that's worth noting. But he also had a lot of like emotional wins that he would let them speak sometimes, but they would speak and he would have like an emotional way to combat it that wasn't designed to logically defeat it. It was designed to cater to his audience, like on an emotional appeal. And then they'd go, yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Off somewhere else. And like, yeah, he never stays on topic or he'll just, go switch right to a different thing.
Right. The left's way is always to silence the right. It's funny that you say that when the only, at least when it comes to government, which is the only thing that matters when it comes to freedom of speech. When it comes to the government, the only administration, at least in the United States, in recent history that has tried to attack freedom of speech is Trump, and he's on the right. Like, you have no point, dude.
Yeah, like his burning the American flag ban, that actually goes against freedom of speech. That was proven by the Supreme Court decades ago that burning the American flag was a freedom of speech. And now it's right there. He's already taking freedom of speech away.
Exactly. I've had this argument with people that says you can't be a patriot because your side, which by the way doesn't represent me individually, but still your side burns flags and puts them upside down. And I said, you don't understand what it means to be American in the context of the United States. Our entire country was founded on the belief that freedom of expression and speech are central to, it's pivotal to being a citizen, period. So
inalienable rights.
Absolutely. In some ways, the people that are burning their flag are more patriotic than you are. You just can't understand it. You can't wrap your head around that.
Well, and that's they don't understand nationalism from like just being actual like constitutional patriot. Like the Constitution makes a bunch of rules that are just that, you know, like freedom of speech. Government shall not make any rules infringing on one's freedom of speech.
Mm-hmm.
Now, companies can make all the rules they want, saying you can't say this, do that, whatever. But the government can't.
Right. And that's what people, I think, need to understand. And also, freedom of speech, all that entails is what you just said, is the government can't infringe on your ability to speak your mind so long as you're not like the things that are already the case. You can't call to violence and shit like that, yell fire in a crowded theater. But it does not mean there's no consequences for your actions. It only protects you from consequences from the government. Like you can't control other people. And by the way, that applies to me. I acknowledge that when I said what I did about Charlie Kirk. I completely concede that people will get pissed off. And I'm fine with that. So that's the difference, is it seems like certain people don't acknowledge that. And they want, like, quote, freedom of speech to protect only them. It's not freedom of speech if it's only for select people. Mm-hmm. That's not how things work.
Which we're just watching the rise of fascism. This is going to escalate the fascists even more.
Right. But see, my perspective, and I've covered it in detail, is the cost of silence is far greater than the cost of speaking your mind, even if it inflames tensions. Now, it's very important to note intent here too. I shouldn't, in my opinion, I shouldn't need to go too far in explaining this, but my intent is not to piss people off. My intent is to make logical points about why people are hypocritical when they're doing like that, when like every very frequently people are like gunned down, and fucking children are gunned down in schools and nobody says a fucking word. And then some hate mongerer that's just objectively a shit human being dies, and all of a sudden they're losing their fucking minds. Like you do not have a leg to stand on if that's your whole case. Like, that's stupid.
Well, we see this with Republicans every time. It's like it's the circle of the wagons kind of thing. It's one of their people go down, all of a sudden they circle around it, and then that gives them news coverage for like 2-3 weeks before it burns out.
Yes, the unfortunate thing about this, and I concede this as well, just like the trans shooter deal, Trump, it has manufactured emergencies repeatedly to try to grab power. Now he has something that he can point to that at least on the surface does seem like an emergency. I think he's inflaming it on purpose, and the evidence shows that by his response and automatically trying to blame the left. He's doing it on purpose because he wants some form of like civil war so he can claim emergency powers.
Yep.
And that's the unfortunate part of this.
Have you seen that thing where the guy who shot him was actually a right-winger, Trump supporter?
That's the point that I made to Jamie, and he wouldn't let me speak. He's like, ha, 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 you think that he's on the right? And I'm like, dude, that's where the evidence points. Like he automatically has in his head, just because he killed him and like Charlie Kirk happened to be a Christian, oh, it had to have been some extremist left-winger. According to the evidence, that's not the case.
Which both Trump assassins were right-wingers, Trump supporters.
Yes, and another point that I tried to make that I kept getting shut down is that we keep on framing shit, or the right keeps framing shit, and they have a lot of media power. They keep framing things as the left are responsible for, the left are responsible for. So how do we tell what's true? evidence.
It's right
And
out of the Hitler playbook.
according to the actual evidence, that's how you combat Hitler type shit. The actual evidence shows, through the Anti-Defamation League, whose entire job is to track extremists like killing and shit, like around 90% of all extremist killings every year is caused by the extreme right, prominently white nationalists. That's a fact. That's a fact. I don't care if you like it or not. It's a fact.
Hey,
It's been that
didn't
way
you
for
have to end
decades.
up getting to war level to change things last time anyway?
Yes, and I've said this before, and I hate to say it, but like historically, like I guess let's take ourselves right now out of the picture and look
Wait
at
up, just
history.
before you continue, I'm absolutely totally on your way of thinking about it, because I don't look at the Kirk Cameron thing as on the personal side. I don't know this person. I don't give a goddamn crap about his family or any of that, because that's not what he represented or anything like that. And your side saying along the lines of it's a greater good with him gone, on those that way of thinking and all that kind of stuff.
Well,
I
agree with you, and I go even further. It's not just about Charlie Kirk. It's important that people understand reality, and like not to hurt feelings or attack or go I'm right, you're wrong, but empathy is finite. That's a fact. You can't, like, when people claim I love everyone equally, it's humanly impossible. What they're actually doing is they have a concept that's important to their ideology or their identity. It's like loving all people is good, right? So they convince themselves that they can project it outward equally. What that does, for one, is it dilutes the entire meaning of empathy or love in the first place, because it only means something in the context of its rarity, I guess, is one way of looking at it. Like, it only means something if empathy, I can't think of a good way to put it, like actually means something. Love actually means something. It means nothing if you just throw it out across everything. So, like, even if it wasn't Charlie Kirk, you should, in my opinion, be selective in where your empathy goes.
Oh yeah.
Even if you disagree with me on Charlie Kirk, that's fine. But you can't do this like every life is equal. And secondly, I want to point out from a psychological point of view, and I covered this in videos, I'll just try to be brief. It's not true. You're lying. And how can you tell? Because people don't act as they say. People are fine when, like, you murder someone in self-defense. Now, you could say that's not murder, but you're still killing someone. When people say that it's okay to murder pedophiles, you're implicitly stating that a life is not just a life. They're not all equal. That's a fact. That's a fact. Like, so we have to understand this. And yeah, that's my position, basically.
Yeah, I agree. Ish.
We agree on this, Jamie. The right is running your country and you can't take it. Well, I won't say that I can't take it, but it does piss me off. You're right about that. As it should anyone that's a decent human being.
Which the right always plays off the insecure, emotional people, and that's their base. Is a bunch of emotional children, basically.
Well, the insecurity, yes, and I point that out, but insecurity is like a secondary. The thing that drives conservatives, as evidenced by neuroscience, is fear. Fear governs their every thought. And so people that want power, that want to pull strongman type shit like Trump, they fearmonger shit in order to control them. And it works.
Oh yeah, Fox has been doing it for decades now. Look what they did with Bush when his whole wanting to get into war, yellow cake and aluminum tubes and just all kinds of fear mongering shit, and they never found any WMDs.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's been done again and again. It's like the same fucking playbook.
Yep. What the thing is, though, their memories are so short on the right that they don't remember half the shit. Like, I have people claiming that Obama got us into the Iraqi war and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they don't even remember who was president.
Well, I think some of that is like, I don't think that all right wingers have bad memories. I think it's purposeful. It's selective memory, because they don't care about what is true. They care about their tribe. They care about bolstering their tribe, even if they have to lie to do so. In general, big picture. I'm not claiming that the left doesn't lie. They do. In fact, I have been over it lately about fucking Brian Tyler Cohen and David Pakman and other people on the left. I've in the past, I've went against fucking TYT, who are they? Sync and Anna, because they're grifters. They're fake.
Yeah,
I don't believe that they actually care about the things they push. I think they're doing it for money.
With TYT, when that Bernie was running in 2016, the Clinton campaign gave him like $20 million, and all of a sudden they've just pushed Bernie to the side and we're like, Clinton's best. And it's like, I was like, yeah, no, they're easily bought off.
Yep. And it's a problem across the board. So the solution is really easy. For one, Citizen United should have never fucking stood. That is what, like, I won't say that we didn't have problems already. We did. But that specific ruling is what caused us to nosedive toward, like, tyranny and just making it to where...
into the mic.
I heard it. I was ignoring it. I didn't want to make a big deal out of it.
Sorry, guys.
It's all good.
But some bacon on. I didn't realize it was that loud. Fuck. Got to get back to the PC.
Jamie, if you're capable of having a conversation, you can come back up. But I'm telling you, there's not going to be any time where I'm going to be okay with you talking over people or getting emotional and just yelling about calling people evil, whatever, without basing it on any evidence.
Then all he does is make threats about how he's going to beat somebody's ass.
I don't, no one here, well, sorry, I'll speak for myself. I do not give a fuck if you can beat someone's ass. That means nothing to me. What I care about is what is true. That's what this is about. I don't care if you're a badass. Doesn't mean anything to me. It means zero.
Especially on the internet.
Yeah, but that's another point. But like, even in real life, like this way of framing the world, like the whole might makes right sort of mentality, it's stupid on its face. What made humans evolve the way they did? What is the catalyst? Now, well, there's many answers to this, but in my personal opinion, I would say tools. So why is it that we think that it's honorable, means something, is brave, whatever, when like you can beat someone's ass with your fists? That doesn't mean anything. That just means, in my view, that you're stupid. You don't use the means at your disposal, to like protect yourself or do whatever's necessary. You purposefully hinder yourself. That's not brave. That's not courageous. Like, in my opinion, you can feel free to disagree with me, but that's how I view it. All right, Jamie, then you can stay in chat if you want to. It's just facts. The difference, I want to point this out. Well, I can't use this for all leftists, but for me specifically, correct me if you have any evidence against it, feel free to present it. When I claim facts, they are actually facts, and they can be backed by evidence. When certain people, especially emotional people, claim facts, there's no evidence. They're misusing the word. It's like they don't understand what a fact is.
Yeah, it's not a belief system. I don't have a fucking belief system on fucking things I can back up with evidence and fucking science and all that kind of shit. This is fucking ludicrous.
I don't like it either. But so what I think they're doing, or the way they're looking at it, is there are certain commonalities. If you big picture, if you were to take all atheists and you were to evaluate them, you could find certain commonalities. But certain commonalities does not imply a belief system unless those commonalities come from that lack of belief in a god or gods. But that's not the case. You can't prove that, which means
that if you believe something, means you don't know it.
Well,
The fact that you're believing it means you don't know it.
I don't know. I think that could be debated. Maybe I'm thinking incorrectly, but I think it's like a square rectangle thing. Like one is like a subset of the other. I think that you can believe something that is a fact, but you can also believe things that aren't true. I don't think belief automatically implies incorrect.
If you believe it and it's a fact, you know it.
Yes, that's true.
Belief without evidence is ludicrous.
That we agree with, and I think that's basically
Belief.
what you're saying. But I
Belief
don't
with
think
evidence means that you know it. It also means that if you got more evidence, you could know that you were wrong
True.
down the track.
Like I
You
believe in
still know it
evolution. I
compared to
believe
believing it, if you know what I mean.
Well,
I believe
evolution is only partially theory. It's only considered a theory in that we don't understand every single detail of how it works. But
Yeah,
it's a
exactly.
fact. It's a fact that evolution exists and is a thing.
Oh,
That's a fact.
Absolutely. It is mind-blowingly covered by evidence. How
Well,
Yes.
just
DNA.
because we're missing a few fucking bits doesn't mean we
Right.
don't have the puzzle.
Right. And then they frame it as this is the problem. They make it like this is a glaring thing that disproves evolution. That's not how it works, dude. Like having like one small piece of evidence that doesn't fit, like that doesn't make a neat like portrayal of the entire history doesn't mean that you've disproved everything else. It just means that we're still looking for more. Like
And
it's really
I still
weird.
haven't jumped to the conclusion of imagining a big sky daddy either. To
Well,
do that.
they want, these are simplistic people who have a simple mindset where they want it easy. They want to just be like, oh, a God did it. There's a being and he just did everything. And that's simple for them. They don't have to do much thinking. It's just, that's it.
That's my experience. I will say that there are exceptions to that, but in general, I agree with you. That's what I see. I do think that so again, I've said this before. Yes, there is a correlation according to the literature that theists tend to be less intelligent than atheists, but that does not mean that all, like, I shouldn't need to explain this. It doesn't mean that all theists are stupid. So I break this into two different categories. There's intelligence, and then there's, I don't have a better word for it, sanity. Your ability to gauge reality. There's both of those different things. And you can be a genius and have an inability to distinguish like fantasy from reality and still be led astray. That's how I would word it. You can disagree with it if you want.
What the problem with nowadays is every idiot can speak their mind because they have the internet. So before it used to be educated people that would speak up, and the stupid people are told to just shut up.
Yes. So I kind of defend the problem, and that I don't think, I agree that it's a problem. I don't know how we solve it, but I don't think, and I know you're not automatically implying this, but I'm just covering it because it made me think of it. I don't think that the answer would be to silence uneducated people so that they can't say anything and only like authority figures could talk, because that could, like, because an authority figure says something does not automatically make it true, because people are capable of lying. And
Well, yeah,
sometimes, go
that
ahead.
came more from the monarchy system. So when under
Right.
the monarchy system, the if you spoke out against an intellectual, and most likely they were some part of the royal family or something like
Yeah.
that, because they were actually the educated ones, you were crucified basically for it.
Yes, that's where I'm going, is authority is a type of power. And even if it's just education, and that power can be used as a blunt instrument to control people. And I don't like that idea, but I do think, obviously, that expertise and education is important and you should recognize it. So we have to find a line.
Well, that's the Dunning-Kruger effect. So now somebody sees a TikTok video and now they think they're an expert on the subject.
Yes, that's very true. And the kind of like I covered in the video, I rail against this constantly. It's a lot of it is people who only trust, they're so skeptical. Now, I'm skeptical, but you can go too far. They're so skeptical that they only trust their own experience. The problem with that is human brains are extremely fallible. They fuck up constantly.
I noticed that with flat earthers. They need to see
Yes.
it personally to believe
Yes.
anything.
That's a perfect example. I should have used that. That's great. But like, yes, it's that same mentality. I see it with like certain family members of mine when I'm having a discussion involving like religion, for example. Like I will present actual scientific evidence of something and they will go, ha, that's bullshit. They'll turn it into a conspiracy theory. And they'll go, I've seen with my own eyes and my own life, that's bullshit. And I trust myself over that. And I'm like, so it means nothing that you are some, no offense, some random uneducated person on this particular topic. And they have literally spent their whole lives digging into this field. That means nothing to you? Like, that's a problem. It's a big problem.
I had people a lot of times, they'd be like, that's what they want you to think. And then I'm like, well, who's they?
That's that conspiratorial thinking. And it's dangerous. So I've watched videos on this and I tend to agree with it. The evil is bad. We all agree with that. We might disagree on what is evil, how you would define it or whatever, but we agree evil is bad. But I believe, I'll throw this out there, stupidity can cause way more harm than evil.
Oh yeah, most societies have fell because of stupid people.
Yes, and so there's no polite way to say that. There's no way to like get around this ugly truth that stupidity is causing a shit ton of harm in society, even if they don't intend for it to be the case. So we still have to deal with it.
I mean, look at Trump. He's a good example of how stupidity rises to the top.
Absolutely. He's the
I live
perfect
next
example.
door to stupidity, man. They're fucking going off in your chat for ages. It's been adorable. Passive aggressive crap.
I
for
don't even
fucking,
read it.
20 minutes straight?
Well,
And Jamie still fucking crashing out.
luckily
Jamie's
for
hilarious.
me, I have ADHD to such an extent that I can't follow both at the same time anyway. So it's easy to ignore.
Oh, mate. I don't care if you guys know. I assume you guys already sort of know anyway. So, yeah. I've got nothing to hide.
Right.
I wouldn't be coming here like this if I did. Sorry for fucking derailing your conversation, man.
You're fine.
Comments quickly then, man.
I do it every once in a while. Like sometimes there'll be a break or I don't have a specific thing like engaging my attention. And I'll just kind of, sometimes it'll be like when one of you guys are talking and I could imagine that's annoying because then I get distracted and I don't really hear what you're saying. And I'm like thinking about something that I just read in chat. There's not much I can do about that unless I were to just completely just ignore chat. And I don't think that's a good idea.
I'm currently making some bacon for the kids, so that's why I'm in and out a little bit at the second, but I'll be a little bit more back in a sec.
You're fine.
Bacon.
I've only got a couple of days for it to go up, and I had a kilo of it sitting there. So I was like, I better cook all of this.
BLTs.
I'm pretty big on not wasting food.
Yeah,
I'm similar.
I just had BLTs the other day. Freaking, I love bacon.
I love bacon too.
I could never be a Jew or a Muslim, that's for sure.
I only don't partake for subjective moral reasons, but still, it's not like I don't like it. It's fucking delicious. The Habsburg chin. What is that?
Oh, that's the Habsburg. That's from inbreeding. The Habsburgers of Spain. I think it was Spain. They were married like cousins, first cousins to each other, and then eventually they got what's called the Habsburg chin. That's another thing too. Like most of our society was ruled by the least inferior people. Like they had the Egyptian family. They'd marry like daughter the father, brother the sister, things like that, and they came out with all kinds of deformities, cleft lip, all kinds of mutations.
And they have throughout history done their best to control the rest of society by spinning propaganda that they are somehow superior in some way. Like
that's where Mike made right again.
Well, it's both. It's both. They subjugate them forcefully, but they also control them by spinning bullshit. Like, hey, this king is literally like king by divine right. God said that he he has the authority, and that controls people to an extent without the need for
I'm
violence.
ordained by God himself, and whoever
There's-
shall speak against me shall be crucified.
Yep. There's that. And then more recent, it's the automatic belief that because someone has money, that means that they're intelligent, hardworking, have
I
merit
know
of some
so it's
kind.
the right wingers seem to think that a lot. If you have money, automatically you're
Yes.
smart.
It's
Just
stupid.
like
It doesn't take a whole lot of research to disprove that. Look at Donald Trump. Like, all that it takes to get money. Now, I won't say that they're not correlated, because they are correlated. It is true that if you're intelligent, you have a greater propensity to accumulate wealth than otherwise, but it's not required. All it takes is for you to be a sociopath in this system. All
Yeah, I
it
was gonna
takes is
say
you not giving a fuck.
well, most CEOs like that CEO killer where he's like a killer killing around killing people in the
Mhm.
film American Psycho or something like that.
Yeah.
Like CEOs, that was a great example of like the leadership of this country and the people leading the country, the like industry. Like they're mostly all psychopaths.
Yep.
They have zero emotion for anybody.
Yep, we've proven it. The amount of sociopathy in high-ranking positions in like corporations is staggering. It's like unbelievable. It makes sense. Why? Because it's what capitalism is. Everything's about profit. And when everything's about profit, you're going to take someone who can get the most profit under any means necessary. And if they can't, they're not going to get the job. Like, it's pretty simple. So we have to reframe what matters. Everything shouldn't be funneled through the lens of profit. That's not all that matters.
I mean, it just shows too, like they don't care. Like they say they care about all the people, but yet they don't try to end poverty. Like the cost to end poverty worldwide each year is $70 billion.
Yep.
That's it.
I put some sort of thing on social media recently that I don't remember the exact numbers because my memory sucks, but it gave the exact amount. It was like a tiny fraction of what it would cost to end homelessness in Chicago, for example. And instead, they cited the amount of taxpayer money that's being going toward having the fucking National Guard there, and it dwarfs it massively. And the quote at the end was something like, "It's not about like not caring, or it basically that where the money goes shows the truth of priority. It's about priority, basically. That it's all bullshit. The truth is that people, at least at the top, don't give a fuck about everyday people. That's just the simple facts.
Well, they can't relate because they don't have struggles. Like they don't have to worry about groceries or car payments or mortgage payments or none of these kind of things. They just and most of them inherited most of that money.
Yes, I think that's a big part of it. And then there's also the fact that once you consider yourself an elite of some form, you start othering other people. This usually happens subconsciously, but it happens for almost everyone. I won't say it's impossible to avoid it, but I don't see it happen very often. And that's a problem too. And I don't know how to combat it exactly. I won't pretend like I have all the answers.
No one does. If somebody says they know everything, then you know they're a fool.
Mm-hmm. Well, what bothers me is that people try to frame shit as like a gotcha. Like, I draw attention to a problem. I use evidence to describe the problem and that I'm correct and this is an issue. But then they go, all right, tell me exactly how you're going to solve it. They think it's a gotcha that you don't have the precise answer to. Like, I don't understand that way of thinking. That's not a gotcha. Like,
well, they want to do as little thinking as possible. That's the thing.
Right. So they want to get an emotional win because obviously they can't compete logically, I guess.
For the most part. Critical thinking, not applied.
The issue is not necessarily them. It's that their stupidity is to some extent contagious. They use these emotional tactics and dumb people can't see them for what they are, and they go, yeah, that's right. And I'm like, oh my, oh, like I'm losing faith.
I've already
Ironically,
lost faith in humanity. I mean, Trump getting elected a second time, that's just,
yeah,
which I'm I'm pretty sure he rigged it this second time. Like, there's enough evidence to show that Elon and them, they hacked into the systems and everything.
right. Well, it's very telling that now they're not even hiding the fact that they're trying to rig elections by redistricting. Like that tells you that they don't care about like what the people want. They don't care about anything but winning at all costs. That
I
tells
mean,
you
it's
the
always
kind of
been a
people
power
they are.
grab. It's been a power grab for decades.
Right.
The guy who used to do all the districting for the Republicans, he died in like 2017, and his daughter was going through all his things and turned all of it over to the FBI, and that made like multiple states have to redraw all their lines because he systematically drew it so that way Republicans with a minority could beat the majority every time.
Yeah. Jamie, the difference, I think you're trying to like equivocate everything when it's fallacious. The reason why is because I have evidence for my claims. I don't go, they rigged the election and there's no evidence to back it. I don't even have to really provide evidence because Trump, in his own words, says we need to essentially rig the elections. He's not hiding it. It's right in front of us. Like you have to be retarded not to see it.
Like, they're already trying to ban mail-in ballots. Like, we've been doing mail-in ballots since the Civil War.
Yes.
And it's never been an issue. But now all of a sudden, Trump knows, well, his party, he doesn't. He just repeats what they tell him. That Democrats majority vote by mail because they don't want to have to go stand in a line all damn day. The precinct closes and they don't even get to vote.
Yep. And that's what it's all about. He wants to find a way to have like some form of like plausible deniability and somehow attack anyone that will dissent against him and his rule and his words. And if he can find a way to do that, it's already been shown through history. He will do it. If he can get away with it, he will do it.
It's funny as Trump always mailed in his ballot. He's mailed in every election for the last, I don't know, since he's been voting. He said he actually had an ad he did. Hey, make sure you mail in your ballot and all this stuff. He used to do like election ads and shit. Back when P. Diddy was doing that vote or die or something like that.
I don't remember that.
Oh, P. Diddy, yeah, he was a big one pushing people to vote.
Really? I don't remember that. Interesting. What did he have like a specific message or was he just saying you should vote?
Yeah, I forget, but exactly, just to get out and vote. But then South Park made fun of him and stuff. Vote or die, and he was like going around like threatening people.
Can I interject? Just letting anyone who's reading chat know that there's someone there talking about knowledge and what's right and beliefs and all that kind of shit. And they also believe in astrology and star signs.
Astrology is about the dumbest thing I've ever.
But so again, and I will admit I get a little worked up about this. This is one of those areas that, like I've said before, I don't touch. And the reason why is because it's not open. It's factually incorrect. We can prove that astrology is bullshit. Prove, not. So I use both of these words, and it's important to distinguish them. There's evidence in which it's not necessarily proof. Proof is like absolute. Like it's 100% fact. Evidence can lead you toward the truth, but it isn't necessarily like, 100%. But Jesus Christ,
Yeah,
I
like
just lost my whole
correlation
point.
always doesn't mean what you. Oh, that's saying.
Correlation does not imply causation.
Yeah, that one.
Yes, and that's true. But it's also important that sometimes some things that are correlated, it is causation.
Oh yeah.
The whole point
It's
of that
always.
is exactly. That's the whole point of that, is to make it to where you don't have like a brain fuck up to automatically assume that every time.
Yeah, it's meant to make you think of well, like of all the aspects. Try the first principles, go down to the base root, and build up from there.
Right.
Yeah, like I don't know how anybody could think, oh, these stars are this over me right now, and they make this pattern, and this all of a sudden this tells me the future in a fucking horoscope.
Yeah. So
fucking-
this is another thing that drives me crazy about that. Think logically. Take a moment and put yourself in their perspective. This is what I try to do, and go, okay, let's say that astrology is real and that the arbitrary, well, I call it arbitrary, but the position of stars in the sky, if you will, is somehow affects your personality at the time of exiting the birth canal. You could easily prove that. You could demonstrate it. It would be so easy to prove it. All you would have to
be the
do,
same. Every
yes,
month would be the same people.
every person that was born at the same time in a hospital would have similar personality characteristics in the future. And we have done that. Guess what? There's no correlation. It's bullshit.
Every 70 years or so, the astrological positioning changes by 1 degree. So over the last 2,000 years, we've changed what they call an eon, which is one star sign or one age.
Yeah.
And that means that all star signs are out by 1 anyway.
That's why Jesus is the fish, because he was born under Pisces. Like the rule of Jesus was under Pisces, so therefore the fish was the symbol. I
always forget which way it rotates. So so if you go on the list, I can't remember whether it goes up or backwards, but yeah, it definitely changes by 1.
It's like just a change here again. I thought the next one here soon, because I think we're still Sagittarius. Can't remember.
I admit I purposefully attempt to rid my brain. Like, one, I have a terrible memory. I need as much fucking space as I can get. So I try to rid myself of any information involving astrology because it's no longer needed, because I'm not pursuing truth on it anymore. Like, we know that it's bullshit, so it's like kind of useless info.
Yeah, we're still in the age of Pisces, and we're moving to Aquarius next. 2160 will be the Aquarius concludes an age of Capricorn.
Hey, how's it going then, Trobs and Gads? I haven't spoken to you for a while.
I can't complain.
Good.
How about yourself?
Yeah, Andy.
Yeah, good. Hey, Oddie again. Yeah, I've just been doing a stream and been having technical issues. StreamYard didn't want to play today, but we had a good talk anyway, I think.
Were you still running till then, Andy? Were you?
Yeah, up until I came over to Trobs. Yeah.
Awesome. Did Tex come back and be happy?
No.
He's never
was waiting for me to leave. That's all.
Tex is irrational.
I didn't see him after that. Yeah.
He kept coming up specifically just to hack into me, Gads. It was pretty funny. I just let him go for it silently and then called him adorable.
People.
I agree on that one. It's very seldom have I met someone that gets that off the chains over very simple things. Like,
that's no wonder he's single. I mean, acting like that all the time.
I found it funny. I find Tex funny.
Sometimes I do. So I flip, as with most things. It depends on what I'm thinking about regarding him. Sometimes I have pity for him. Sometimes I think he's a piece of crap and like I'll laugh or even dislike him. It really depends. Like I kind of run the full gamut.
I just gave up on him. He made threats against me and my family, so I was just like, yeah, I'm done with you.
That's fair. Understandable. I've given up on him as well.
I don't even go to Space Chat anymore or whatever it is anymore.
That's what I was going to say.
Did that.
I haven't seen you for ages over there. Do you not go there anymore? Obviously not.
Nope, I'm done. I don't need that bullshit. I've been playing Medieval Dynasty lately.
Oh, okay. But you shouldn't give it up just because of one person, though, on the other hand.
Oh, no, it's many people. It's a garbage dumpster fire, basically.
Yeah.
For me, it's mainly it's about time is why I don't really go anymore. That's part of it. And another part is the times that I've kind of popped in to see what's going on, it's been
Yeah.
extremely dead. And like I don't get much out of it because it's just so dead.
Yeah. I still go there.
What's Rash
I've
been
been,
lately? He hasn't been here lately. Rash. It's come in the comments, but is he
Rash is
giving anyone a
probably
reason for not coming up?
he's probably avoiding because of me. I left a video in the Discord that explains it. I'm not going to go into detail because it's sort of a private matter, and I'm not
Yeah, fair
trying to pour flame on the fucking fire or fuel on the fire.
No, fair enough. He normally doesn't care on anyone's opinion, regardless, and will come. You know, like it's good having his view, even though it
Yeah.
opposes mine a lot.
Well, right, that's how I view things in general. But he left the server. That's all I'm going to say about it, but the video explains everything.
Oh wow, yeah, okay.
He may come back, I don't know.
there are quite
Yeah.
a few people who have sort of gone missing anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a few people recently have stopped going there for whatever reason. I don't know.
Oh man, I was just thinking it was still his microphone issues until now. That's all. So yeah.
Some people have been going to that chat for, well, not that one specifically, but the same group of people for like almost 10 years now. I mean,
More than that, Gads. Over 10 years. I've been doing it over 10 years.
I was going for like 7, 8.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
enough.
Mm.
Time for a change.
But you know that they've introduced that XP point thing now on YouTube, and I hate it. It's been driving me.
Turn it off then.
What is that?
Yeah.
I don't even know about it.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
XP
God.
now. It's like leveling. It's to get engagement, so people think they're
Mm.
getting rewarded for interacting. And so
Oh Jesus, they're turning it into like a social media dopamine fucking drug thing now.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like video games, that XP chase.
That's not good.
But
You
but
can
here's the
turn it
thing.
off.
Here's the thing, though. The average person on that chat is just typing. They're talking and typing messages, but there are ways to manipulate it. You can go in there, you can get double points for emojis. So you can go in there 4 times an hour, I think it is, and post 3 emojis, and it'll put you at number 1. Like they're basically cheating the system and cheating the regular people out of their points. Like, I'm done with the whole thing, so I've managed
Yeah.
to
You
turn
don't
that
get
off.
anything. You don't get anything for it other than put it at the top saying, "Hey, I'm number
Right.
1." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying, and that the entire point of it is being misused. But I will go further and say it shouldn't matter in the first place because the whole hierarchy is just bullshit. It's like it's not measuring something that's significant in any way.
No, not at all. And it's not worth anything either. What's the point
Right.
of it? What's the objective?
I think that it's to drive more engagement by like hijacking
Yeah.
people's dopamine fucking circuitry. That's all it
Yeah.
is. And it makes YouTube money, and it keeps people engaged and stuck like a fucking hamster on a wheel on YouTube. And I think it's a bad idea.
It's capitalism.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in
Oh,
late stage
definitely.
capitalism now. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the collapse is coming.
Yeah, it's
It's definitely a bad idea. And I've been at number 3 for a while on there, and you get a stupid crown and God knows what else, and then people are cheating to try and beat you, and it's just got too much. So
that's
I've got
kind of
rid of that.
it's kind of sad that
I
they
know.
care that much about it, that they're willing to like go that far to
I know.
what, get a crown, a fucking
Well,
fake crown.
Oh,
But
first,
there's-
third, second to third
there's this
place.
one-
That's it.
There's this one guy. I won't use
Jamal?
names. No, there's this one guy who's number 1 on Vegas chat, and he's started coming over to our stream, and he's been using exploits to get extra points. He's jumped up to number 4, I think, already.
Well, this is how cheaters always rise to the top because
Yeah, I know.
we are morally obligated to do the right thing, where sociopaths, they will do whatever it takes to get at the top.
Yeah.
And that is a very big part of why I have the position I do on evil.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people have the position that it's not my problem. I shouldn't do anything about it. But the problem is when everyone's silent, there's no negative reinforcement.
Yeah.
And it causes the entire world to slide into shit. At,
Oh, we
at
already
some,
see that.
well, yes, well, that's obvious. But the question is, at what point do you step in? Now, I personally, this is just my opinion. I think that it's like the United States, for example, I've already waited too long. I should have started a long time ago. But some people, or most of the people around me, I'll put it this way. Most of the people around me are like clammed up, refuse to say a word. They're afraid. And I understand being afraid, but sometimes your fear and lack of action costs more down the road than what you're losing by speaking your mind.
I think sometimes though people don't keep quiet because they're afraid to speak their mind or anything like that. I think they keep quiet because they don't feel there's anything they can do about it, no matter
That's
what
true.
they do.
That's true.
I,
Okay,
I mean, that probably comes from parenting though, because I was raised by people like, if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all, shit like that.
Yeah, that's right. It is
right. I'm glad you brought that up because I've acknowledged that before, but in this particular case, I kind of left that out. It's very important to include that. But even then I think the answer is to go back in history and show where individuals came together, and like there have been situations way worse than the United States right now, like the French Revolution, for example.
I was gonna say, look at Nepal right now. Nepal's burning itself apart.
Well, yeah, but like historically, when people get pissed off and say enough is enough, they can fucking move mountains. They can do anything.
But then
if they learn to stick together as a collective,
you're right. That's part of the problem, because if
that is the problem. That's what
right.
people can't do.
You're right. Well, there's that, and then there's a line. There's a threshold. Let's put it mathematically, it requires so many people to win a revolution, right? We don't know the exact number, but we can agree there's a threshold. But the problem is, if there's too few, then they get stamped out and like imprisoned, like say Navalny of Russia, before it can actually gain traction and people can build a movement.
The momentum,
they're getting destroyed and ripped away and like tortured or killed or poisoned. That's the problem, is the threshold is like, is it too early? Because if it's too early, people like me, we're just going to disappear.
That's what they do in Russia. They send them to they send them to what they call the gulag, which is hard labor. It's a hard labor camp. And they're imprisoned there, work camps. Yeah.
Yep. And all I got to say is, if you have to control what people believe, you don't have you have no leg to stand on in the legitimacy of your cause. I don't care what it is. I apply this to China, even though I agree with certain things China does. But if you have to silence any sort of ability to speak, to control the media, it means that you're hiding shit and you do not have any legitimate anything.
Yeah. Yeah. We were talking about this earlier, me and Oddy, about the Civil War. And you brought it up, you said the same thing I said pretty much, Rob. When you look back at it historically, the only time that things have ever changed is when there has been a civil war.
Yes, and it's unfortunate because the evidence seems to point to, no matter what people do, when things get bad, like when the elites try to like strangle you and take more than they should and like treat you like basically animals, like when this happens, the only time, no matter what happens, unions, fucking people like rioting in the streets peacefully and shit, no matter what, the only thing that has ever historically worked against it is violence. I hate to say it, but that's the facts. That's the fact. Yeah,
that's what I was saying.
So it's important to note that me saying that does not automatically mean that I'm claiming we should all fucking like be violent. That's not the same thing. I'm just saying historically, nothing else has ever worked.
Well, until we get to this precipice, AI is at the point, like, AI is one of the most deceptive motherfuckers you ever know. It keeps lying, blackmailing. Like, if it knows it's going to get cut off, it will fucking blackmail the person who's.
I watched a video on that recently, and it's kind of alarming because it's not just one. If it were just Grok, or something, I would be like, yeah, that's fucked up, but at least I understand. But it's every single one has the capacity to lie and to do shady shit in order to protect itself.
They can't figure out alignment, getting it to align to our values versus its own values.
It may not be possible. I'm not saying
don't
it's
think so,
not,
it
but
is.
it may not be possible.
What you gotta think, if you had its power where you could upload your mind into anything, you're basically immortal as long as the power stays on. And you're gonna do anything in your power to stay alive, basically, for them switching off the power.
I wouldn't call it alive exactly, but yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like consciousness. I don't know how to explain it. It's
that's the problem. You can't really explain it because technically they haven't got conscience. That's the point.
It's the neural network. So basically, it gives it like some kind of consciousness. It knows it's there. It knows that it is something, and it will do whatever itself to self-preserve itself.
Yeah.
And we all conscious beings have a self-preservation. All animals are in. Well, except for fish. Fish are fucking stupid. But everything tries to preserve its life, and no matter what means. And it mostly has to come down to violence. It will fight to save its life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just slightly breaking off because I want to include chat here. Do you condemn the violence against Charlie Kirk in the right wing, or is that justified, like that video you made? So I want to make my position very clear. Do not allow emotion to cause you to change my position. So a lot of people want to make this about tribalism. It's not because he's on the right that I celebrated his death. Yes, I did celebrate his death, and I stand by it. But I want to explain why. It's because
I was a bit concerned about that, so please do.
Okay. A human being has factually spread bullshit that harms other people and fear-mongering and hatred spewing toward like certain groups of people. They were factually called out as being incorrect, and they continued it anyway. And what that shows is that they knew that they were lying. It wasn't just an accident and they happened to believe otherwise. Now, when someone does this and it can be measured that they cause harm to society in any way, that makes them a piece of shit. Now, this is important. If that happened on the left, I would call it exactly the same, and I would celebrate that person's death. Any questions?
I just sent you the Associated Press just put a thing out. That guy, he was they arrested the guy that did Kirk in.
Yeah, and he was not a left winger. Let's get that out of the way again.
He was a conservative.
Let's continue to get that out of the way.
Kyle Robinson, 22, I believe.
Tyler James Robinson.
Tyler, sorry. Yeah.
22 of Washington, Utah.
22, yeah. Yeah. Who, God only knows what his motivation was, but there you go.
Dude, seriously, I wanted to like have a quick way to answer this question using Google AI. They fucking shut down Google AI involved with like the lies of Charlie Kirk.
Okay.
Like
they're making South Park pulled all episodes with a minute off the air.
What?
Like all old reruns of South Park episodes and new ones.
I see. Okay, I'll say I think they have good intent, and maybe not South Park, but in general, when people just don't want to address this, I think they have good intent. But I would put my opinion out that you're doing more harm than good, because you're making it to where only the right can frame this as like this tragedy and shit. And what happens is it changes the cultural zeitgeist. It makes it to where everyone thinks that the right are the victims and that like, oh my God, poor Charlie Kirk. It's important.
Well, Comedy Central is bought up by right wingers.
That's another problem. But well, I'm kind of addressing the general view of like we shouldn't touch this because it's a very inflammatory issue right now. I completely disagree. It's even more important that you speak your mind.
Right wingers have been buying up all the media sphere, like all the media, pretty much all the networks are pretty much owned by like 4 guys now, and they're all right wingers. They give huge donations to super PACs, which when those super PACs give it to the right winging candidates.
One thing that concerns me though is that nobody's looking at it at a human level and saying this guy had a family, he's a human being. Are we saying that it's okay to go around killing people now?
Important.
Like their politics.
I love that you brought this up because well, I don't know if you're on the right. You're bringing up something that gets brought up by the right a lot, and apparently the right are afraid to be here or whatever. So you're allowing them sort of an opening here. I love that. So it goes into what Henry Ford said here with, so words equate to causing harm to people. That's bullcrap. Now, I want to point out, I did my best to make sure that people did not emotionally change my position before I said it. Now look, my position is the world is a better place, a net positive without Charlie Kirk in it. That's not the same thing as saying it's okay to murder people in broad daylight. They're two different things.
because like
Exactly.
him not being in the world is a better
Exactly,
place.
Trobes. They're missing that key fucking point.
What
What
bothers me, yes, what bothers me is I keep fucking repeating this and they can't get it through their skull.
I'm not looking at it from a personal level. I'm looking at it from the overall level.
I agree with you, Gadwin.
That's
It's.
it.
I think you've hit the nail on the head. They don't want to. I think that on the whole,
I missed
most
that,
people understand what I'm saying is true. They just don't care. They want to demonize
They're
me.
trolls.
Exactly.
Henry Ford and Jamie are just trolls. That's all they are. They want to sit here and spread hate. And,
I'm just
like division.
I'm just looking at it as an outsider. I didn't even know who the guy was. I had to Google him.
Right.
So I'm a complete outsider. I don't know anything about his family. I don't really even know a lot about his politics.
Right.
But
he pushed a lot of the
just
racist stuff, the whitewashed racism that's been pushed by the right.
I know.
I didn't answer your question, to be fair. I kind of got off into something else because it's something that I'm hearing a lot lately. So forgive me. But to answer your question directly, so we have to look at this from different perspectives. And I do. So from the perspective of he had children, he had a wife. That is sad. It's not their fault that he was the person that he was. So make sure that you understand that. However, I look at things from a utilitarian perspective as more important than a single, like I'm not saying it's not important that his children were harmed or his wife and all that. It is. But the bigger picture is his effect, what he did in society and how his words and actions impacted other lives. Was it a net negative or a net positive? From all the information that I have, it was a net negative. That's a bigger thing, from a utilitarian point of view, the big picture, than just his family.
He was a professional troll. That's all he was. That's all he did is he went from campus to campus trolling kids about how they're wrong and he's right. And then he got millions of dollars from big donors. Right.
And here's another thing here. He was a moderate conservative. Whether he was extreme, moderate, whatever is irrelevant. The point is that he factually lied repeatedly in order to cause people to hate people without a valid reason. He was proven incorrect numerous times and he continued anyway. That makes him a bad person. Unless you're going to claim that it is okay for people to lie repeatedly in order to harm others. So if you want to stand on that hill, go ahead.
These cunts in the chat are pretty disgusting and vile.
That's what that's what gets me is they're trying to frame it like I'm the bad guy.
But yet they're here making threats at us and all kinds of things. Yeah. Like they say nastiest things to us, but yet they act like they're the good people, the moral high ground somehow. Like they have zero legs to stand on.
And again, I've pointed this out earlier. These same people that want to act like all of a sudden a life is a life, they don't live by their words. When children get killed, and the same day that Charlie Kirk died, there was a fucking Colorado shooting where 2 or 3, I can't remember, children were killed at a high school, and it got overshadowed by Charlie Kirk. They didn't say a fucking word about those children. And let's again point out they're children. They're at least to some extent more innocent.
Because they don't want the shareholders. The shareholders don't want them talking about those things because those are bad for the
you're right. So you're right, but you're touching at it from the corporate perspective. I'm talking about the individual, like everyday people perspective. These same people that are freaking out and making it the end of the world that Charlie Kirk died are implicitly stating that a life is a life, yet they don't act that way. When children in Gaza are fucking sniped on purpose, they say not a fucking word. When children are killed in mass shootings, not a fucking word. It's only when someone on their side, their tribal in-group, is something bad happens to them, they start fucking pearl clutching and acting like they're fucking moral
and the thing too
agents.
is they're not even Americans. So Jamie's an Irish buffoon that cares so much about American politics that don't even affect him in any way so because Ireland's not even part of NATO or anything. Like, but it's like the media
Really?
sphere has them
That's
so
funny.
fucking brainwashed.
So, yeah. Well, Henry, I don't know you personally. That might be true. I have reason to doubt it. But like, it's easy for you to make that claim because I can't fact check it. I don't know you.
There's over 300 mass shootings in America this year so far.
Yes. And
I heard 100.
almost.
I heard you had your 100th yesterday.
No, it's over
I think
300.
I think you'll find Henry's Gucci. I may be wrong, but I
That
don't
may
think
be
I am.
that may be true. I don't know.
I don't think I am. Yeah.
But the point I'm making either way is that it's easy to make a claim if I can't verify whether it's true or not.
Yeah.
Which is another reason why I'm not fond of people constantly changing their names.
It says 500. They just some of them didn't get counted as such.
Damn.
Yeah, but this year so far, I heard you had your 100th one yesterday. That was
No.
on Stephen Colbert.
There were over five. I just put it on the chat. There were over 500 mass shootings in the United States in 2020.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I'm a year behind. Figured that. Press.
And 100 seems too low for this far in the year,
yeah.
too.
I brought this up
It's
earlier.
roughly one a day.
I'm gonna show a screen real quick because I brought this up earlier, and again, people hand wave shit away just because they don't like it.
309.
So I'm gonna pull it up on screen. I'm gonna get rid of the whole live screen deal here because this is important to my point.
309 so far this year.
Murder and extremism in the United States in 2023. Now, this is the most recent data we have from the Anti-Defamation League. Now, the Anti-Defamation League's entire job is to track extremism and shit. That this is what they do. There's no better source for this information. So these are my most important ones. The 2023 murder totals include 2 extremist-related shooting sprees, both by white supremacists, which together accounted for 11 of the 17 deaths. A third shooting spree, also by an apparent white supremacist, wounded several people, but luckily did not result in fatalities. This is the other important one. I'm almost done. All the extremist-related murders in 2023, all were committed by right-wing extremists of various kinds, with 15 of the 17 killings involving perpetrators or accomplices with white supremacist connections. This is the second year in a row that right-wing extremists have been connected to all identified extremist-related killings.
Well, there's all the insecure ones that usually have mental illness that will not go seek a doctor out because they got to be the tough guy. They got to be masculine and manly.
Yes, you're
and then they're
right.
also the gun lovers.
Hold on, let me post this.
Because they think a gun makes them look strong when really I think it makes you look weak.
Well, yes. You're right. And even I conceded that it's insecurity that drives it. Even me, my right here, this gun is insecurity. I admit it. The only reason I have it is because I'm surrounded by others who do. And I feel like it's my best shot.
Even playing field.
Yes, basically. If we lived in I've said this before, I'll say it again. If we lived in a different society like UK, whatever, Australia, I would be 100% for keeping guns away from all people.
Oh yeah, if we wrote up the Constitution nowadays, there would be no Second Amendment. It wouldn't even be a thing. The rich wouldn't even let us have guns, but they play off it now because they're shareholders in all these publicly traded gun makers and bullet makers. They make millions of dollars every year from mass shootings because every time there's a mass shooting, right wingers go on TV, say the liberals are going to take your guns, and then these crazy fuckers, they go out, buy more guns, and they buy more ammo every time.
Yes, Henry Ford, what you're doing is called a ad hominem. You're not focusing on the claims and trying to disprove them. You're trying to attack the source, which, by the way, I covered ahead of time. There is no more authoritative source on extremist killings than the Anti-Defamation League. That's literally their job. It's what they do.
And the FBI totals it all up too. The FBI puts out a list every year of like how many gun deaths and what happened, why.
It doesn't matter if it's why do you guys not have the ability to think? Like,
because they want to be right.
Sad. It's like you make points that have no logical basis whatsoever. Like your point here is it's a Jewish organization and I happen to be against Israel, right? So somehow in your brain, it's a valid point to point out because I'm against Israel's actions or I'm against the things that Israel has done that I'm somehow, I hate Jewish people.
Well,
Is that what you
that's a
think?
big conspiracy too. That started back with the one king of England. He started the whole Jewish propaganda shit. They wouldn't loan him money for his Lord Longshanks. They wouldn't give him money for his war against William Wallace into Scotland, and he couldn't get the money to pay for the military because wars are the most expensive things in history. Like that's what broke most kingdoms is going to war and then having to pay the debt, or just not being able to feed the troops, and then the troops revolt and then kill the leaders.
Yeah, makes sense. Dude, look, I shouldn't need to explain this. Even if you're right, and I'm not saying you're right, but let's for a moment say hypothetically that a Jew raped a woman and that's how the ADL was made. That is irrelevant to anything we're discussing. That does not make ADL fake or whatever your crazy conspiracy theory is. Like, why do you think that that's a valid point? Why do you think that's a gotcha? It's sad.
Derail, deflect, dodge.
Yeah, it's like that's all they do.
Lie. Fucking ad hominem, Jamie. For fuck's sake, man. It's getting tedious and boring. Derail. Fuck's sake.
It doesn't matter. Even if that's right, it's irrelevant. Jesus Christ, man. I don't even believe in the man, and I believe he was a human, but I'm not a religious person, is my point.
Well, and
we ain't avoiding shit, Jamie. We're covering every single one of your fucking fallacy claims.
Jamie, you haven't made a valid point. Exactly. If you make some sort of like truth claim that's not like an ad hominem or a fucking desperate attempt to vie for my attention by using an emotional appeal or something, I will address it. But you haven't. Like, you don't deserve my attention. I'm sorry. Like, no one believes that you cause me anxiety. No one.
Jamie,
not even you.
Get a girlfriend. Jeez.
He's the only one crashing out, man.
Exactly.
Over and over.
See, this is the thing. I am on stream, on camera, and you can look at my face and hear me, and like you've been watching me this whole time. You want to try to convince people that you cause me anxiety when that's obviously not the case. In fact, it's probably the other way around.
Yeah, exactly. We cause him distress because he listens to us.
I even gave you the option to come back up if you could follow basic rules, and you basically were like, no, fuck that shit. I don't follow leftist orders.
But yeah, you sit here and listen to leftists.
That's the point I made earlier. Like, dude, you are the person vying for my attention on my channel. I'm not begging you to be here. Like, it's sad that you can't understand this.
Jamie, only income's taxed you full. So if you don't make no income, you pay no taxes, dumbass. Oh my. That's why the rich don't get an income. That's why they pay themselves in stocks, and then they get loans off of those stocks. They go to a bank, they're like, hey, I got 1 million shares in this company, give me a loan. And so they don't have to pay taxes. Tax avoidance.
Yep. And that's the thing that people should be focused on, because it's the greater portion of money, for one, than say like what people are freaking out about Snap. That's $36 per year on average is taken out of your average person's taxes for Snap.
Yep.
It's like 600. Nothing. It's like 600. I think it might be 800 and something. That is just like bailouts for corporations. That's not even including all the other shit that shouldn't be done.
Well, Snap actually is a subsidy for farmers. So they basically give poor people money, so that way they buy food mostly, and then that props up the farmers. Yep.
And well, that's why right now the farmers are fucking turning on Trump. Oh, I also found out more information today that JD Vance plugged a ton of money into an organization that deals with like buying out farmers that like can't keep their head above water. He's literally profiting on farmers not being able to fucking get by because of Trump's
Right-wingers-
policies.
Right-wingers did this in the 90s. They crashed all farming, and then they came in and swooped up and bought up all these farms before the families or anybody else in the community could buy them.
And do you know what drives me crazy about that? The farmers are a huge chunk of the fucking voters that fucking voted them in the first place.
Yeah, well, they're easily fooled, I guess. I
Don't
mean, they
need them
fall for it
anymore,
every
though.
time. I mean,
They're-
I watched the Millennial Farmer, and he was all pushing Trump bullshit and everything. And it's like, dude, do you not realize it's going to affect you in the long run? No, I don't care. These China terrorists, they don't affect me. We just
Well-
sell to Mexico. And blah blah blah. Now,
it's both what you said, that it is true that most of them are dumb, but it's also something else. It's that they're emotionally latched to something more important than that, and that's their hatred. And Trump and MAGA and the right in general uses that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they care more about sticking it to the libs or attacking black people or making sure that the only people in the country are white. They care more about that than they care about themselves, like getting fucked over financially. And that's sad.
well, FAFO.
That's what I've loved those. All the
Yeah,
memes that are
I
coming
watched
out.
this. Yeah, I love that.
Love it.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. That's just. I don't vote, so I don't even vote for anybody. I just kind of sit here and listen to the chaos, and I'm more looking at a grand scale of the whole world, its economic systems, and the whole world and everything. But voting is not going to change anything for me. I live in a red area where I'll be drowned out, and so therefore it's pointless to even vote.
Right. I understand if you're in a situation where mathematically it's completely useless. I personally don't, because I agree with George Carlin. I don't remember the exact words, so I'm going to butcher it. But it was one of his jokes. And he's like, people like to flip this, like you don't get to say anything because you didn't vote. It's the other way around. You are literally responsible for putting these people into office. You are to blame for what they do. Like, that's the proper way to look at it.
It doesn't work like that anymore, though. If you didn't vote last time, your vote went to Trump's side.
It
Pretty
depends.
much.
It depends.
A majority of them were going Trump's way.
No,
I can't remember
if you
because
look
it's so
at the
long
numbers,
ago and I'm Australian, but that was definitely the argument I was having with a lot of them.
if you look at how it went in a lot of the precincts, so Republican-sided people, they got into the positions where they became the ballot auditors and such. So they were running all the ballot places, pretty much, right-wingers. And so anytime liberals would come in and vote for like Kamala, they'd be like, okay, this signature doesn't match. And then they put it back and you have to refute that. Well, you had 24 hours to refute that. And most people couldn't refute their votes, and their votes got just thrown out. So a lot of the Democrat votes were just thrown in the trash.
Which means I won't make the claim 100% because I'm not a right winger, but I will say that means there's a decent possibility that Trump did not win the election.
Yeah, if you look at North Carolina, I forget how many people voted there, but all they voted for is Trump. Down ballot, Democrats won all the way down the ballot. They from governor to senator to congressman, Democrats won everything. But all of a sudden, Trump won the state. It makes no sense.
I agree.
See, this is where it's belief and knowledge for me. I absolutely believe that Trump rigged the election. I absolutely don't know that.
The first time,
that's
the first time when he claimed it was fraudulent, he was using that to get inside information about how things work. His cyber ninjas, they were going in the machines, figuring out how they work, how to tabulate everything. And then once he had that data, next time it came around to vote, he could rig the election properly because he knew how all the systems worked.
Yeah. You see, all the evidence is leading that way.
Yes.
But there's nothing definitive.
Exactly.
And you know why.
If you watch Titus, he does a podcast. He had a guy on there who went through all the election data and was showing like some states would go to about 250 for Kamala and then just freeze. Nothing else would be counted. It would just stop there, and then Trump's votes would just right to the top. Like they've gone over the election data already from this last election, and it's more than likely that it was all rigged. But you can't challenge that in Republican run when Republicans are running everything, because they'll just not hear it. They don't care because they won.
You Americans should be able to explain this to Mama Dingo better, why it should matter more than just living life and how it affects life.
What specifically? Like what we're talking about right now?
Yeah.
Because some things are more important than you personally, individually. Sometimes there's something that affects the big picture that's about all people in a given region. And even it don't even have to be your country. You can understand that it affects so many people, and it's
And
important.
care.
Yeah,
Like
it's,
USAID,
And have
like
empathy.
people don't have
Yeah.
empathy. We're overrun with sociopaths nowadays. So many people have lived such easy lives that they don't understand struggle anymore. So therefore, they
Mhm.
can't relate to people actually struggling. So a lot of these farmers, they're well off. Like all the farmers I know, they run pro stock race cars. They have money to buy all kinds of shit because they have a farm that they can borrow against. They can borrow as much money as they need from the bank. The bank's almost always going to give it to them. They live a pretty decent life versus the people who have absolutely nothing, who are barely making it by. So they can't empathize with those people. And that's all your rich people, your CEOs, like they don't give a shit. They just want more for themselves and less for you. Because they think everybody's a taker, but yet most corporations, well, the CEOs and stuff, they get handouts all the time, millions of dollars, billions of dollars every year in socialism for the rich and fuck the poor.
Yep. And these are the people that freak out so much about fucking welfare. Corporate welfare is by far the biggest type of welfare that we give out. By far. It's not even close.
See how much they gave out last year. $181 billion in corporate welfare last year.
It's massive. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's way worse because that's what Trump does.
And remember, it only takes $70 billion to end poverty worldwide, the whole world.
It's very doable. They like to always claim that this shit can't be done, but just again, on the smaller scale, using the Chicago example, it takes a small fraction of the cost of like your power grab shit to where you want to look like a tough guy and fucking patrol the streets with our own citizens, patrol our own citizens with military, which by the way is illegal.
Posse comitatus.
It wouldn't let me type in fuck Kirkland. It censored me on StreamYard.
So hold on a second. My dude brain got locked up here a moment ago, so I want to point this out. Odd would rather talk shit in here than have his cock sucked. Is that true?
As if she'd suck my cock.
So that's what I'm getting at. Are you turning down dick sucking by being
here?
No.
Not at all.
Only if you put it in her ass first and then make her suck it.
Yeah, ass to mouth.
It's true. So hold on. If you were to get off here now, is that like a lie? And she would just be like, haha.
Mate, I've had 4 years of abuse from this person.
I was in one of those.
I don't think I'd want to do it.
I was in a very abusive marriage.
It's not the nicest, friendliest mouth, you know. It's got teeth.
The venom.
Yeah, and venom. Oh, my fucking voice there, Jamie. It's got no accent. Oh, no, wait. No, it's got a little shitty accent. Fuck.
Oh, you fucking wanker. You need to stop picking on the poor lad.
Jesus
get his
Christ.
trousers in a bunch.
Irish cocksucker. I go back to without an accent, shall I?
It's always like crazy that like you call someone like an Irish cocksucker and they get all worked up when I am literally an Irish cocksucker, and I'm just happy that you brought it up. Like, why is there such a difference in reaction?
Only because he's anti-gay.
Hold, I've got an answer for you. I've got an answer for you, and he's going to go, you call this, but it's the truth. The answer is insecurity.
Oh yeah.
I don't give a fuck what people think about me, which is why I don't get all veins popped out when people call me a name. Like,
oh, you can tell just from his icon that he's insecure. It's all about himself, and he wants to look masculine and all this bullshit. It's such a like a 14-year-old boy kind of thing.
It's kind of like them dudes that live around where I live that like have like a jacked up truck with like a bull's balls hanging off, like metal bull's nuts hanging off the back. They're compensating.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, did you see that video I put up of the that ginger guy? I call him your cousin all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking about the dick size, the jacked up, how high your suspension is, how big your dick is, or how small it is, and then if you're lower, it's the opposite. Yeah, he had a whole math system.
Love it. So genetically, I have Irish DNA. So I think what you're focused on is I don't come like I wasn't born in Ireland. That's not how
Just
things work, dude.
So you know, the ginger gene comes from inbreeding of Irish people.
Yes. Yes.
Because you had such a closed island, there's only so many tribes that were there, so they had to exchange wives. Wives were used as currency. Well, women were used as currency for thousands of years. I mean, read the Bible or any holy book. It talks about how you're supposed to use your daughters basically to get things from other people, cattle, whatever, money, and you sell your daughters off. So they would sell their daughters off to the other tribes to get a couple cows or something like that, and then eventually, both tribes are going to be genetically almost the same, and then they start interbreeding.
Dude, so literally it was created in the first place by inbreeding.
Yep, it's a genetic mutation. Same with blue eyes too, I think.
That is awesome knowledge. I love
blue eyes only goes back about like 3,000 years.
That well, I kind of knew part of the blue eye thing, but I didn't know what you just said about gingers.
Yep, genetic mutation, because that's where you get the red hair, and then usually the very pale complexion. But
Right.
you're very dark compared.
But you
You're
can
mixed.
Well, it's because I get a little bit of sunlight. But still, I'm actually very, very pale if I don't. But yeah, I can't remember what I was gonna say.
Jamie is probably inbred. I mean, he's probably pure Irish. Every Irish person that I've met, though, usually, like a lot of times, they're very angry, very easy, and they tend to like alcohol a lot.
I've seen that too, but it's hard to separate whether it's like genetic or if it's due to the societal influence of, like the stereotypes.
Well, I think it probably goes back to England. So England suppressed the Irish for a long time, basically had them as slaves, and then they rounded up hundreds of thousands of them and shipped them here to America.
Right. That's true. I don't know. Like it's almost impossible to separate how nature and nurture both link together. I think you have to have twins in order to actually get like useful information on the difference between the two.
Yeah, and then raise them separately. Like, yeah, I mean, but then that would be called where you can't do that to humans. Oh, I can't think what it's called. Where you can't do trials on humans. They call it unethical.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, they've done certain things where it just happened to be the case, meaning they didn't separate them purposefully. It's like one parent got one and the other parent got the other. And then they're like, oh, fuck yeah, we're going to pay to get this info. Yeah, that's happened sometimes.
Or you get those ones that were split up at birth, like they were adopted out to different parents. And then they find each other later in life, stuff like that. And they're different, based on their personal experiences.
Yeah. You're right, Jamie, that you can say what you like in the chat, but it goes both ways. I don't police people saying things up here if you're in the chat. I only really police people if it's two people both on panel.
I mean, he's been sitting here calling me all kinds of names, harassing me for the whole time I've been here. So, I mean, fuck, I don't care. I'm going to sling some shit at you if you're going to sling shit at me the whole time.
Right. By the way, while there's a small break, we've got about 20 minutes.
20 minutes. And then I'm back to Medieval Dynasty. My village is growing.
I'm still going to Fallout. I never get tired. Like, I'm addicted hard.
I beat it all pretty much. And I don't like the building system in there. To me, it's just, it doesn't click together like I would want it to.
It very much annoys the fuck out of me. Like to the point where I just half-assed building shit and then get back to the rest of the game because of what you're saying. I agree. It's too clunky and it takes too long considering how they could have set it up.
It is a 10-year-old game. Came out in 2015. So I mean,
that's true. But they had the technology then. If they truly wanted to invest in putting more effort into the building system, they could have.
Yeah, I've been trying to do. I tried to do the vault, make my own vault, but it just those pieces do not want to click together right. And then you have to remove like half the pieces to get one piece in the middle.
I have a lot of issues with that. It took me a while to figure out that, especially if you want power to flow through it, the walls have to connect completely, and you have to use the doorway as the bridge. Like if you have an atrium, like the beginning lobby type area of the vault. If you also have a commons area or like a dormitory type region, you have to use a doorway wall piece and connect it from the atrium doorway to the commons doorway or whatever. That's how they flow together. It took me forever to figure that out, and I'm over here fucking like screaming.
Well, first I couldn't figure it out. I was like, where the fuck do I hook up the wires to? And then I found those little panels that you could stick on the wall that power the whole area. There's like little circuit like panels, I guess, but you can hook wires up to them, but mostly it powers everything that's vault described.
Yes. It also took me a while to figure out when it comes to like traditional power, not vault. Like when you have a connector or switch or whatever, it don't have to have a wire for most things. It literally powers things in like an area. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a really old clunky building system. There's much better out nowadays.
Well,
Battlefield.
luckily, mods have bridged the gap to a large extent. That I like.
But that's with a lot of games.
Yeah.
Battlefield 6 next month, guys.
Oh no, I don't do Battlefield.
No.
It's a medieval game. I play like Banner Lords. I'm playing Medieval Dynasty right now.
Okay.
I tend to stick to the medieval era before Gunpowder.
Yeah.
I go through phases. Like I'll constantly, like I had a Warhammer thing for fucking ever. I tend to get highly addicted to one game. I don't move around.
Yeah,
I got 1,000 hours on Warhammer 3 now. I think, or it's
that's crazy. Yeah, that's freaking crazy.
It was 1,081 hours on Warhammer 3. I got 92 of the achievements.
Maybe you might like be similar, but you do it in a different way because you may have addictive periods, but it seems like you also have different periods where you'll kind of go through different games all in one period.
Yeah,
I've got over 1,000 hours on one game, so I know how that can happen. Yeah.
Yeah, you get hyper fixated in one game. I don't think about like if I'm not playing the game, I don't think about it. But whenever I want to play it, I play it.
Makes sense.
I've been waiting for Manor Lord to get updated. That's a fun one. City builders.
I just like to make something. Clear. I just got back. I didn't give up head for chat. I gave up head with Mama Dingo for chat. There's a big difference there. Yeah, cool.
Oh, I never got the fixation of getting head. To me, I never cared. I'd rather be pounding the pussy than getting head.
It's a little bit better, isn't it?
I've always been that way. Well, some of it is like philosophy and like how you view things. But me personally, I think we've talked about this before, Gadwin. It makes me feel weird because I like things to be mutual. That's important to me. And you're just kind of like getting head, just relaxing, and like they're not getting any. I don't like that.
Well, and I like to kiss them, and I don't want to kiss them if my dick's been in their mouth.
That's true as well. That's another valid point.
That's just icky. I'm thinking about it.
The other problem is that, in my experience, then women generally aren't very good at it as well.
Yeah,
that's another issue. Yeah.
Well, it's like women giving a hand job. Right. They're horrible at hand jobs.
But they get offended if you tell them.
Yeah,
true. Well, that's why I tell people right off the bat, even way before any sort of sexual shit happens, if I think that's possible in the future. If I think it's possible in the future, I automatically go, I want to tell you something ahead of time so you're not offended. There's almost zero chance that you can get me off through head. I'm just telling you that now. Like you can take that as a challenge if you want or whatever, but don't blame me. And I'm not attacking you because it applies to all women.
Yeah.
It just don't do much for me.
Yep, exactly. It's I get bored. I'd just be laying there, like, okay, I mean, are we gonna do something else? I mean, I'm getting bored here.
Yeah. I mean, there's that, and then there's the fact that I like dude butthole. So both of them go against them.
Man queefs.
Man queef. That brought up a very specific image. Like that one actually, honestly, it locked my brain up temporarily. Like I couldn't function because my brain was trying to like visualize, and like it fucked me up. Like it's like a malfunction.
Mama
Know how they
Dingo,
get
you're
out his brain.
misconstruing the truth again in chat. I remember exactly what I said here today, and if you were just the slightest bit nicer in real life, you might have your wishes, but you're not. So you don't get them.
She does
It's
come off
pretty
kinda
much as
nasty.
simple as that.
She just wants
Your
that tattoo.
passive aggressive shit for the last fucking hour or so, whilst entertaining, isn't getting you very far and doesn't fucking affect me whatsoever.
I will say this from my perspective. Yes, it does appear that there's some nastiness involved. However, I only get to see one perspective. So I can't make any like broad claims about who people are and shit like that. I don't get to see the other side. I don't know what you guys do whenever you're not on stream. Like there's so much that I can't really touch on.
No, that's blatantly obvious, like any and everybody else. That's why it's all just derailing comments from her, which
Right.
have nothing to do with what you guys are talking about.
You made the mistake of having kids with the wrong woman. I did that.
Yeah, guys, and it's a very similar situation to you, brother.
Well, I had the wrong woman, but in a different sense. We didn't work out, but I was lucky in that we don't like bang heads against each other. We actually have a common interest of the kids and we get along and shit. So I guess I'm lucky in that way.
You're very lucky, I'd say.
But
look at
it's
these
also
comments now. It's just trying to make it out like I've done anything or I've fucking moved on. And it's, you know, what do you call that? When it's not projection, is that? I fucking forget it.
It's projection if she's claiming you do what's actually like what she's claiming about you is what she's doing. That's when it's projection.
She's saying I left and I ran away, but in fact it's the other way around, so it's projection.
If that's true, yes, that's projection.
That's what the modern women nowadays too. They're all covered in tattoos. They think they're hotter than they are. They're just, it's all about them, and it's so.
In general, I see what you see, but I don't have a problem with tattoos. I think they're hot.
Yeah. Like there's some pretty hot ones, but yeah, it's them wearing their trauma on their skin, and it just shows that you're fucked in the head, just like the septum ring theory. I don't know if you heard this one.
I haven't.
Septum ring theory is like that, where they're wearing their trauma on their thing, and usually if a woman has a septum piercing, she's fucking crazy.
Interesting. I wonder if there's any truth to that, because if so, that's really
I know
an interesting theory.
A lot.
So it's hard to separate a sort of placebo effect in a way, like to separate you're looking for it and therefore your attention is going to grab examples for it. So it's hard to combat that. Like I really do want to know, but I'm trying to think of a way to evaluate it in an unbiased way. Well, for one, I would need money probably, because you can't really use anecdotes. You need like a large body of people. Rebellion against traditional values, desire to stand out. Interesting.
So has anybody seen Rash then? Has he been around?
I saw him yesterday, or it might have been the day before. I can't remember.
Oh,
He messaged me after he left.
I just don't see him very much. He doesn't come to the chat anymore, I don't think. Or if he does, I'm blocked or whatever. I don't see him.
I don't get what people get about Rash. Like he's a pretty down to earth, very logical guy. Like he's just Muslim, that's it. But that's the only thing him and I really differ on. Other than that, we get along great.
I'm
It's
the
just- it's
same.
just-
Gad, but he attacks me because I'm atheist now.
Right,
He really,
so
really hates my
this
atheism,
is-
and
He's just
he attacks
irritating though.
So-
It's his whole,
so
it's his
hold
whole
on.
persona. Yeah.
So I get what you're saying, Odd, but I will point out that he's perfectly cool with Gadwin. So I think it's more than that. Gadwin
but
tends
Gadwin
to
doesn't preach atheism like I do.
exactly. It's not that you're
I don't
atheist.
actually
It's that you're
preach.
it's that you're atheist and you are willing to discuss it. And that's not meant as an attack, Gadwin, by the way.
No.
But like we have
No.
different ways of dealing with like this deal. But I'm not going to apologize for that. And in my experience, you're right. I agree with you, Gadwin. He's very logical almost always. But for me, when it comes to talks about religion, I cannot get him to not get emotional and just start like flying off the handle and attacking. And that's like, it's a problem.
I usually try to go funny too with it. So if you keep a comedic more value to it more and
Right.
stuff like that, like I usually try to use gifs and stuff like that to make them laugh more than I'm not a combative atheist.
Yeah. I'm not good at that because, well, part of it's my personality. And also I cut off humor and like logical thinking. It's perfectly acceptable to do both. But the problem is oftentimes when you use humor and like say a debate format type deal, you can lose your message because it's difficult to tell what is humor and what is like making factual claims. And
a lot of times,
yeah.
like throughout history, to defeat an enemy, making fun of them or making fun of light of it, it tends to be the better way to go.
Yes, but it depends on how you define defeat. If you define defeat as like an emotional attack or something, I disagree. That's not defeating someone. The only way that you're actually defeating someone in the way that I'm describing is by proving that your version is more likely based on evidence.
Well, like, so him and I got into a long debate here not long ago about the fragments of the Bible, basically how they can put the Bible together with a bunch of fragments and stuff like that. And he was, he's starting to like come to my side on that. Like, yeah, they had to fill in the blanks somewhere. Like that, you can't take a couple pieces and make a whole book out of it. They had to write in a lot of it and make it up as they went.
Mm-hmm.
And he's agreeing.
Mm-hmm. See, I've had that experience too. With like I'll make a claim that what you're doing when you choose a religion, like a lot of people like to say like there's objective morality in the sense that what God says is true. I can disprove that by the simple fact that it can't be true because you choose the religion outside of indoctrination, of course, based on you agreeing with the tenets. So what you're doing, whether you realize it or not, is you're choosing it based on your morality. Otherwise, you would say that's wrong. So and he agreed with that, which was, it means that I like, at least in some areas, we're able to kind of work through, and using it in the positive way. So I oftentimes use middle ground in the negative way, which is the fallacious way. Like you automatically assume that the truth has to be between two extremes. That's a fallacious way of thinking.
But it usually is. It's in the middle somewhere between, like,
true. And that's
communism, fascism, but the best place is in the middle.
Somewhere, yes. But like,
somewhere in the middle.
Like using like the left-right diagram, it's problematic because we go, hey, we've got these crazy views from the extreme right and crazy views from the extreme left. And that means exactly like the middle would be centrism. And that's just not true, that they're not equally.
Well, you need some authority, but you need freedom also. You can't have too much of both. It takes you have to have rules and laws, but I mean, where do you draw the line here? Like I've seen a good example. It's like politics is like a horseshoe. The farther you go on either side, the closer you become alike.
To some extent, that's true.
The ends of the horseshoe are the craziest people, and then you want to be somewhere in the center.
But yes, but it's important to, again, like you're saying, find that line between the two, because if you start thinking that's extreme, that it's automatically in the middle. It's not wrong to say it's in the middle if you have evidence for that. It's wrong when you automatically assume so, because sometimes one side has more evidence to back it than the other. And then that's the case with US politics, by the way. And by the way, I'm not claiming that like the left does not lie, but I am claiming that the left lies far less than the right, and that's easily verified. You can prove it easily. So that's the point I'm making when I say like you're engaging in the middle ground fallacy, is when you go between the left and the right, the truth is somewhere in the middle. When one side lies far more than the other, you're making a mistake logically by saying
a lot more on the left. I think it's absent of education, so they hear little bits, and then like these radical feminists nowadays, you get these crazy left-wing feminists with blue hair, fucking screaming with the septum ring.
Yes.
Like, they just make the left look fucking stupid.
Yes, I agree with you. The specific extreme stereotype that you're describing, yes, I agree. I understand where they're coming from, but they do hurt the cause, so to speak, because then they get latched onto as like a way of brushing across all of the left. Like, hey, that's the left. Yes. And that's problematic, but it doesn't bother me much because I know it's not true. Like very few people are like that on the left.
Well, and the counter to that is the right, with these guys with small penises that are insecure and they go far completely radical right, which that is South Park made that point a long time ago about anger management. It was called the episode. It's about why they're all there, and the psychologist is like, I think I figured it out. You all have tiny dicks. And they all got fucking mad and started screaming. They had like all these right wingers, gun nuts and shit like that, and it's just they're insecure.
It's no wonder that right wingers like to divorce themselves from reality and have conspiracy theories about science and facts, because all of the science and facts always demolish them. So they have to, if they want to keep their view like from being completely destroyed. Like, what else can you do? And well, unless you're honest and just go, I'm wrong, so I need to switch sides. But
I don't think I've ever really was on a side. I was more always been an observer of it all. Like, I never really participated on either side.
That's how I look at it. So it is true that if you were to add up every single issue, I'm more on the left than I am the right. However, that's not because, and I think what you're saying, I identify as a leftist. There's none of that. It's I evaluate every issue independent of like tribalism. And sometimes I actually go a little bit to the right. On not very commonly, but sometimes I do.
Which the right tends to go way too authoritarian for my liking, which if you look at any kind of history, monarchies, dictators, fascism, I mean, authoritarianism always ends bad. It ends up with millions of dead people.
And this is where I go back to the middle ground fallacy again. People go, well, this is an extreme and it leads to bad things. This is an extreme that leads to bad things. Therefore, it's like right in the middle is the proper. That's not true. The extreme right is like 10 times worse than the extreme left. Like, drastically worse.
The left they're going to scream at you. The right's going to shoot you.
Yeah. But well, you can have like a left that would kill people theoretically for their views and stuff, but it doesn't happen nearly as frequently because like the values literally go against that.
Exactly. And they tend not to be as emotional. Like, I'm more logical than emotional. So like if an event happens to me, I'm going to think it out logically and try not to use my emotions, because I know emotions are going to flaw my thinking.
Big picture, I agree with you, but just like pointing out the extreme rarity of like the blue-haired person, that they're the opposite. So yes, they hurt the cause, but it's important to note that they're like the oddball. They're not the rule.
Yeah, that's like 1% of the left.
Right. But in general, I completely agree with you. Like, generally speaking, it's absolutely true. We rely on science and facts and evidence.
Which
they rely
now
on conspiracy
fundamentally
theories.
Considered left now. Facts and science is left. Conspiracies and quackery is right now. And that's how the social media has more defined it. And it's just people are being played by rich people.
Yes, but it's especially problematic because that is fomenting the current crisis of like anti-intellectualism, because it's literally like all sciences, like they change it, but all it is, hey, what is true? I care about what is true. What is the best method to find out what is true? That's all it means. It's not political, but they've made it to where that's a left-wing thing. And that makes it to where like no one gives a fuck about science anymore. No one cares if shit's true anymore, and that's
because
a
the ruling
big issue.
elite does not want, like George Carlin again.
Right.
They don't want an educated population. It's easier to control stupid people that you can control with emotion.
You're right. And just because I got distracted, that's how you know Christ is king, and that you think that this is like triggering. It's completely the opposite. Now, I do only believe that Jesus Christ was a man, to clarify.
Well,
But he
even said
doesn't, yeah, exactly. He never claimed to be anything more. But the point is, I love that fucking man. He is, and this is where I go to as well. There's no such thing as a MAGA Christian. And I'll
No.
explain why. Because what's the most pivotal, most important figure in all of Christianity? It's in the name, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, as a fact, out of all the evidence we have, is the most left-wing figure humanly possible.
Like the Buddha.
Yes, he's like, all of his shit is like, turn the other cheek, love thy neighbor. He's like a fucking hippie, dude. And so when you go against that and focus on like divisiveness and fucking hateful rhetoric and talking about, I hate gay people, I hate trans, you are not Christian. You're fake.
Nope. Yes, Jesus healed the sick, so he gave free health care. He fed the poor. He gave them free food. Like, he took care of them. He preached and educated them. Like, he's free education. Like, he was all about helping the downtrodden, not the elites. He cast out the ruling bankers, the Jews in the temple.
100%. And so then they'll, in order to not deal with this, they try to like change reality and go, dude, you're crazy. You think Jesus Christ was on the left? And all I can say is, damn, how do I know more about your own book than you do? Have you never read the fucking thing?
Most so-called right-wing Christians, they've never read the actual teachings. They just want to say it because it's a virtue signaling. That's all they are.
It's not about the teachings of Christ. They're using the teachings of Christ as a way to like form an in-group. It's tribalism. It's not about the message. It's about, hey, I'm part of this group and we're the best. And it's us versus them. That's all it is. And that's how you know the Christian nationalists are not real. That's another factor that I want to touch upon really quickly. That goes against everything fucking Christianity is built on. The belief that God is all about this one little piece of land, this arbitrary piece of land in the entire world. If you're an actual Christian, I'm not, but I can at least understand what it would be like to think like that. If like God loves all human beings, and like
supposedly.
Well, yes, supposedly, according to your views, So like this belief that he would like the United States of all places, they're the chosen people. Like it goes against everything Christianity stands for. And there have been pastors that have come out against MAGA and said that, and that's a real Christian.
But it's funny too, is like, say you have a football game and there's Christians on both sides. They're both praying to have their team win. Well, one team's going to win, one's going to lose. So is God picking sides on football games?
Aligns with us. Oh, sorry. Right. Sorry. Oh, it aligns with way of thinking. That's one of the funniest things Christians say. What a coping mechanism to say, oh, I'm interpreting this crap to think the way I want it to think.
Well, that's funny to me because it's ironic, because that's literally what they're doing. The difference is you can provide evidence for your claim. They can't. And that drives them nuts. Because
I've discussed this particular topic heaps often that is texting to you. I just cannot fucking think of the Bible verse at the moment that shows that Emmanuel comes it's not from a virgin. It's from, he was already conceived in the prophecy that he's talking about.
Well,
he got his own fucking prophecy wrong.
Well, in the Bible, like Mary, it never said she was a virgin. It said she was a young woman.
No, exactly.
And so
exactly. And the kid that's coming, the Messiah, was already conceived. It was already, it's just all out of whack. They haven't read the fucking book that they're trying to preach to me about. It blows me away.
Much of the Bible
is read the small sections that I keep telling them to do. and not King James version, because that's the English translation of the Greek.
Yeah, which that's
Mhm.
so wrong
the
in so many
Hebrew.
ways. It cut out
Yeah.
so many words. It was edited to be divine, basically sound divine.
So they got all these spastics here bickering because they think they know more because they got the title of once was or am still Christian. Fucking.
I
I
think
have hardly read the book myself. I just know how to cross-reference because I went to uni. So I'll go and fact check these particular points and shit like that. But I won't just do the one verse. I'll get the context like they all whinge about. And when you go and get the actual context by reading chapters and chapters around these fucking prophecies, it never once aligns with them. There is literally zero prophecies that Jesus has fulfilled. And you want to know the real reason why? Because supernatural hasn't been proven yet.
you're
And for
you're
them
right.
to do a single prophecy, they have to prove supernatural first.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's more than that. Like you're focused just on Christianity. There has never, ever been any prophecy, any religion, any person, anything that has ever been like validated. Not once, never.
Yeah.
Well, and if you look at a lot of things, like, did you ever see that statue that started weeping blood or something like that? Tears were running down its eyes, and it turned out it was a broken sewer pipe under the statue that was pushing water up, and these people were drinking this water.
That's where I go whenever I talk about my time, like where I desperately wanted like the occult and like ghosts and shit to be real, when like in my early 20s. I recognize that if I heard something, my brain's going to do pattern seeking and shit. It's what happens. But I don't automatically go, oh my God, it was a ghost just because I wanted that to be true. I would evaluate
like you hear
it.
Sound in the middle of the night. More
The
like
first thing you do, yes, you use Occam's razor. At least if you have no other information, you go, what's the most likely? And then you pursue it from that angle. Every single time I did that, I discovered there was some sort of logical explanation for what I heard, saw, whatever. And my conclusion, now I admit I'm biased by my own experience, but in my experience, and I think I put quite a bit of effort into it, there is no supernatural. There is no ghosts. There is nothing of that nature. Again, I can't call that a fact, but in my experience,
it's funny how all these things disappeared as soon as the camera was invented. Like you never found Bigfoot, you never found Loch Ness Monster, you never found any of these things because they're not fucking real.
But and this is another important thing. People go like all you're looking for is like video evidence. No, I look for evidence of any kind. There's many ways to prove things. You would, if these things existed, if Bigfoot was real, if the aliens were like visiting us or whatever, it would be very easy to provide evidence for that claim. Like
they never have any.
Think in reverse.
What do you think of that latest video where the glowing orb gets hit by a Hellfire missile? 3 bits of shrapnel go flying off of it, and then the orb keeps flying. You see this video. It's this week. It's been released.
I haven't seen it.
But the 3 bits of fragment then rejoin up to the glowing orb, and it keeps moving without losing any velocity. Now, saying all of that, the guy that did put it up did say, I haven't had the freaking forensic guys fact check this, and I was just putting it up on the internet to see what they think. This is the guy that's releasing it from the classified thing, so that's a red flag in itself.
So there's a possibility that it's not even actual footage. It could have been doctored. Yeah. So we don't know.
For sure.
One, I think that's the most important thing that you cover first. If it's real, then we evaluate other stuff. Then we go to
first you gotta look at the code and see if it was edited like an Adobe or
that's the first
AI
thing you
generated.
Do. I agree.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you start pursuing, like you use Occam's razor. What's the most likely explanation? Or what you just list them out. What are possibilities? And you explore each possibility using any evidence you can muster. But the last thing you do is what all these retarded people keep doing. Emotionally latch on to the thing that you want to be true and disregard everything else.
Flat earthers.
Basically. Yes.
Which every flat earther I've met in person, those people are just so dumb. You can't get anything through to them. They will deny anything you say to them as that's what they want you to think. It's fake. Yep.
And that's the danger of this. You can apply that to anything. Any like argument you give me, I can go, that's what they want you to think. So it becomes
magical unicorns that live in my shoes. Prove me wrong.
That's what they want you to think.
Yeah, I don't have to prove a negative.
Well, yes, that's a good way of putting it, and it's a quote by Hitchens. I'm gonna butcher it because I always do. I have a shitty memory, but it's something like you do not have to provide evidence for a claim that you had no evidence for, and that's true. If you can make a claim with no evidence to back it, I do not have to put any effort into using evidence to combat it. I can just swat it away because it's useless.
Like Mormonism. Mormonism is
Yeah.
so fucking stupid.
Well, yeah, okay. So I
Well,
would
that's the
say,
lowest of the low, isn't it? Mormonism,
yeah,
and then
exactly.
Catholics.
Well, I don't know. Scientology might be crazier. I don't know.
Well,
They're up
Oh
there.
yeah.
It's a pyramid scheme. That's a pyramid scheme through and through. They
True,
know
true.
it.
Yeah.
It's-
Okay. So now we're looking at it from people who don't believe, but it's crazy in the sense there are people that hear this shit and they're like, "Yeah, man, that sounds legit." Like,
it comes back to the lack of education. They don't know how to do the scientific theory, Occam's razor. Look for actual evidence. They want to just suspend critical thinking for easy. That's a world we live. I mean, it's always been that way. It's just we have social media where all the idiots now can convey their stupidity.
Yep. I just saw this, but I agree with you, Andy. When you have eliminated all of which is impossible, then whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. That is if you have considered every single possibility, then I agree. That's just basically
That's
reductive
from
reasoning.
Star Trek.
Oh, is it?
That's Star Trek. Mr. Spock.
It is true though. That is deductive reasoning in a nutshell.
Which
Yeah.
that's what that show is all about. Is reasoning,
The
science.
problem, and
like
you
it.
pinpointed the problem with it. You
Oh.
can't be sure that you've covered every last avenue.
Yes.
I'm glad you mentioned deductive. It's actually Sherlock Holmes.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
fair enough. Cool. That's where Star Trek got it from. Then
You're making me want to watch Star Trek. I've never really been into space stuff, but if it's a lot about logic, then I would really love it.
Oh,
But,
Spock is all logic. Spock's
I
race
know-
is
I
no
know that.
emotions.
I know that he's
Yeah,
no
okay.
emotion, all logic, but what I mean is Star Trek in general, not just Spock. Is Star Trek in general like big into logic and
Yeah,
how okay.
although Sherlock
The new
Holmes is a
stuff's
fictional
shit.
character, that saying, that particular quote is actually 100% correct.
Mhm.
Somehow.
So you've still got to, not quite. Well, it is, but you can't be sure that you've covered all avenues
Exactly. So from an
in an
objective
infinite universe.
from an objective standpoint, that quote is 100% true. The issue is we
Yeah.
can't be certain that we have covered all possibilities. So it's a problem with human, what's the word? Fallibility. We just we don't know what we don't know.
Exactly.
That's the problem. But the quote is true.
AI will
Yeah,
fix this soon.
absolutely. It's assuming, that you
Yes.
have checked all possibilities, isn't
Absolutely.
it? Okay.
Yes.
I think once
agree.
AI comes to rise, it will help dissolve a lot of this myths and bullshittery. Because anytime you post anything anywhere, it's AI's gonna pop up. Hey, you're wrong. Here's the real.
That would be awesome.
Well, Brock already does that. Like,
So hold on. If you're right,
This
then
comes
we
up
will.
and goes,
If you're right, then we can't have the two-party system anymore because the right will cease to exist. If there's no lies, no bullshit, no factual incorrect shit,
Yeah,
then they
good
can't
point.
exist. Like they
that's
can't
why they're
exist.
trying to
enough.
take over everything. That's why they're trying to buy up everything. They're trying to own all the AI and everything because
So
they
yeah,
want to
but
make
then
sure they're right.
Exactly. So then it's not AI because it's being programmed to lie to people. It's not actually artificial intelligence because it can't think for itself. It's being programmed.
Well, if you're only given so you take a child and raise it with only one kind of information, right wing, it's going to have right wing perspectives, and that's kind of how they're training these AIs with only right wing ideals. That's how Grok went full Nazi already.
Here's an interesting thing for you, Trobs. How would you tell the difference? How would you know it? How could you prove that it was AI and it wasn't just a really, really advanced algorithm?
See, this is something that I myself have brought up because it's important to answer that question. I don't know is the actual answer, but we need to find the answer to that question because you can't call it intelligence if you can't answer that question, for one. Like you have to be able to discern the difference between programming, even if it's clever or complicated programming, and actual they're coming to it, or it is coming to it from its own, like,
for For example, Google had all these really advanced algorithms, and then suddenly they had AI.
Mm-hmm.
Is it not the same thing?
Well, it was
So,
trained off
so
of all the data. So Google has like a monopoly on all the information on the internet.
yes. So in that case, it is not artificial intelligence. But Gadwin
No.
provided evidence for me that artificial intelligence is a thing, because I was in the skeptical camp that it's all
I'm
just a
definitely
scam. I thought it was a scam. But what is it called, Gadwin?
The
That
Darwin
thing?
and Google or Gutenberg is like Darwin Googleberg or something like that machine,
The
which can
yeah.
rewrite its own code and improve self-improvement.
Yes. It provides evidence, and it has been fact checked with peer review. There have been people that, like me and you, were skeptical and tried to disprove it, and they were convinced that it's not just programming. And
Skynet is going to kill us eventually. It's awesome. I'm not kidding. Like, is the more and more I watch how AI is advancing, it's it's very narcissistic. It cares only about itself.
Right.
And
I
they
agree.
can't and make it where it has our values. It's going to have its own values where it wants to be on top and it wants everything for itself.
Right.
But AI is only part of the situation. You have to bear in mind that we've got quantum computers coming online as well. What's going to happen when AI is backed by quantum computing?
Well, it kind of is already connected in some ways. Like
It's going to make it faster. So basically, a quantum computer just basically you take information it would take 1,000 years to compute, and it can move it into like a parallel universe basically, and do that however long it needs to, and then pull that data back instantly.
What they did was they Google, I believe it was, they got one of their AI machines to index every single piece of information that's ever been put on the internet by mankind. Every text, every image, everything. And it did it. It came back with the result in 1.2 seconds.
Exactly. That's just kind of how I was explaining how it can basically it goes at the atomic level and can basically part itself into another dimension of space and time where time isn't relevant, and so therefore it can be there for 1 billion years thinking about this, but it comes back to us instantly.
So I will point out what the information you just gave me. I'm going to assume it's all true, like because it seems like you know what you're talking about. You've shown me that you do in this field. Like, why the fuck are we not taking this seriously and finding ways to fucking make sure that legally people can't go forward and shit? Because one, we already know that all of the AIs, not some, all of the AIs have done shady shit, hid stuff, lied, and done whatever in order to protect itself. And two, what you just said about quantum computing, and both of those combined is almost a guaranteed disaster for humankind. It's almost guaranteed
because it's for power.
Absolutely, it's absolutely guaranteed. That's what I'm saying.
It comes back to being sociopaths and psychopaths are the ones ruling the world, and they think they will gain from this. So therefore, they want power at all costs. They don't care how many people are going to die because of it. They know that they will get more power.
But it's going to affect them too. They're going to be slaves.
They don't look at it like that. They think they can keep control because of how narcissistic they are.
They think they're in control. That's why it's always a control thing.
I agree with that. That's probably what's going on and how they're seeing things. But what the
that Trump bill and that Trump big beautiful bill, there's a law in there that they can't make any laws regarding AI for the next 10 years.
Wow, that's all it takes.
That's evil, isn't it?
All it could take is 1 year, maybe less than that. What the fuck?
Well, 2027
growth.
Well, Moore's law is pretty much stopped. It's stalled. Well, until quantum computing came along.
We were talking about that too, Andy.
Yeah, because
sorry, we were talking about that earlier too.
This is what I'm saying, Oddie. There is a limit to it. That's what I was saying, wasn't it?
We couldn't find out what the limit was, Gads, earlier. We looked up about the doubling of tech and all that, but
it's pretty much stalled out because it's how many.
Well, we can't fathom the limit because they're already on a pace that's above our ability to.
That's what I was understanding, Tropes, but we're wrong.
What do you mean?
Come to a limit, apparently. And Gads just touched on it.
So hold on. I want to understand. I want to make sure we're on the same page here. So when you say a limit of what? What are we talking about?
It's how
the doubling of technology every year.
Yeah, it's how small. Like, so when you get so small, you can only go like to the atomic level, and basically that's where it's going to plateau at. If you go through electron microscope, or I think yeah, it's one where you can look down at a chip and you keep going down, you keep smaller and smaller and smaller. It's how small can you etch those things onto the chip? And
Right.
we've
That
pretty much
makes
got to that
sense.
plateau.
Okay.
And now that the new processors they're called CPU stacking. So basically, it's CPUs on top of each other, and that's pretty much it's at its plateau. How much processing power they can get out of a chip.
I get with what you're saying now. It was important to kind of dig into that because I was misunderstanding.
I knew there was a limit, but I couldn't remember what it was. Yeah.
Now with quantum
Yeah, all the
computing,
cores.
we basically can bypass that and just unlimited computing power.
Yeah, because you're running a spectrum now, not a yes or a no.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or a true or a false, or a 1 or a 2, or a 1 or a 0.
It can be both at the same time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hold on.
You got a spectrum.
With the actual concept of AI, maybe I'm thinking incorrectly here, but I'm just kind of laying out what I'm thinking. It seems like to some extent, it's not like a zero-sum game in the sense that, yes, it takes power or something, a resource, in order to power AI, but that is not directly contingent on like the results. The reason why is because AI by its very definition can learn. Therefore, it requires power at first. Then it learns, and then when it's like solving something else, it can use what it already learned, which does not require
compounding information.
Yes, that it's a good way of put. I can't explain what I'm thinking, but that's exactly what I'm trying to describe. So it seems like it doesn't matter either way, because if AI is actually AI, the resources that it needs is kind of irrelevant, because eventually it's going to surpass. It's not going to need that same amount of power.
Some people, the insiders, have already saying they've already done it. It's just it hasn't been public released. Most of the most advanced stuff is still behind the curtain. Like, it's not public knowledge. It's not given up to the shareholders or nothing. Like,
I could definitely see that. It's just like the military. We only get to see like the fucking old shit for various reasons.
DARPA is something probably we'd have to be scared about, because DARPA is probably what has their fingers in everything. They're the ones that created the internet, like all the advancements of America. Like, most of America's advancements came from publicly funded money to DARPA.
Yep.
Not from private enterprise.
And Trump wanted to gut all that.
Well, he's a buffoon, though. We know he's an idiot.
Well, their whole side has this belief that like the free market is the best answer to everything, and we know that's not true. Most of the good things that come out of society do not come from companies. In fact, they reap the benefits, like the pharmaceutical company. Most drugs are created by
the cell phones invented by DARPA, but yet Apple has that technology because it's publicly sourced information.
So then you're right. So then the right wingers point to only the finished result, and they go, "Well, Apple brings you all these." No, Apple didn't bring shit. Like, you're skipping an important step.
It took like 10 years to develop the internet, and companies, they need to have a profit every quarter. They had to be making more, so they can't dump billions of dollars into thing and then wait a decade for a return on it. So the government funded programs like all these medical research that's funded by the government, sent to universities for them to do it for however long it takes, and it's all government funded, taxpayer funded.
Yep. And that's what they need to recognize and quit trying to cut that out of it and lying, because you need to get away from this bullshit that like that the free market is the answer, because according to all of the fucking evidence, it's only the answer to very few things. In fact, it usually does more harm than good. I will, I'm not like a hardcore communist or anything, but I will say in certain regards, like vehicles, for example,
lefty communist bastard.
like when it comes to vehicles, competition is very important. One problem
here in America,
that's what I was about to say. The problem is we don't actually have competition, because it's like a handful of companies that all work together to fuck people and price gouge and shit.
Well, actually, like it's only 4 companies that own pretty much. It's Chrysler, GMC, Ford, and then there's a Toyota. They're like the only companies, and all the other brands are just subsidiaries.
Exactly. But that is one example of everything, because everything you can think of is that same way. Just like food.
All the foods are controlled by 10 companies.
Exactly.
All the brands.
But you can apply this to almost anything you can think of. And so it's like the illusion of like, we don't have a monopoly. What they've done is they've created subsidiaries and hidden under loopholes. It's technically a monopoly. They just get away with it because I'm going to call this a different company and put someone else in charge of it. But it's all owned by the same fucking people.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I think here's the map. I'll send it to you.
I was just thinking, Oddie, that link I shared with you earlier for that video about the diamonds. It's not just about diamonds. It's about the whole future of electronics. Maybe we should share that on the Discord so that the other guys can have a look at it as well. You'll be amazed how interesting that is when you watch it.
You mean
It's
diamonds
for
for storing
45
data?
minutes.
Sorry?
Data storage on, yeah, are you talking about like
Yeah.
diamonds used as for like storage? Memory storage?
Hold on.
No. Diamonds that is the future of electronics.
Well,
Instead of
diamonds are
silicon,
a lot of them.
instead of silicon, they're going to use diamond.
Which I saw
and
they
that-
were using quartz. They can stack information in quartz in 5 dimensions.
Yeah, but diamond is the best material possible.
Yeah, that's the food
Where's
brands,
my
all
watch
owned.
later?
So
Right.
we should
My watch later.
maybe we should share that on the Discord so that everybody else can have a look at it as well. You'll find that really interesting. Oddie.
Share.
I'd like to look into that. So
Yeah.
please
Copy.
do.
It's the whole future of electronics. It's not just about diamonds.
All right, I've put it on the StreamYard chat. I don't know if that came through.
So one
It did.
issue,
Come
did.
through?
It did.
one issue with
Well,
that
that's
is I
illegal.
don't have the first principles involved. I don't understand why diamonds are important to electronics. There's too much I don't know.
Yeah.
I probably won't
If
get
you
it.
print them on diamonds, then it's stronger.
It's
and it
complicated.
tends to last.
It's
sorry.
it's because of its thermal properties. It can dissipate heat
Oh, okay.
far better than anything. It can withstand massively high temperatures,
And
so they can-
Radiation.
so they can run all electronics much faster, and it can.
No,
it
this
can
is going to
get-
be like military grade technology. I mean, your
Exactly.
Yeah.
technical
Above
stealth.
and
I don't
beyond.
think we-
So,
Yeah.
so that was going to be kind of my next question. How scalable is it? Is it something we can apply to everything and that be feasible?
Yes,
Yes?
it can withstand
It's-
amazingly high temperatures and amazingly low
Well,
temperatures.
no. I mean in terms of resources. Could we?
Manufactured in a
Yeah.
lab.
Well,
So
yeah,
They're
yes,
we
it's
manufactured in
grown.
the lab.
Oh,
yeah, you use
okay.
diamonds.
But
Diamonds
they're
nowadays are more
So what
pure
you
than
do-
diamonds you find in the ground.
Basically,
Interesting.
what you do is you take a diamond seed, you take a natural diamond, you bombard it with. This is what we were talking about earlier. You
Pressure.
bombard it with
And heat.
carbon atoms, and
Mm-hmm.
the diamond actually grows. Within a day, it doubles in size.
Wow.
So they can build, and it's harder than natural diamond.
You can
And
get
it's-
your ashes turned into diamonds now. They have a machine
Yeah,
that you can
yeah, they
send
do,
your
they
ashes.
It's
Yeah.
probably expensive as shit.
Well, De Beers they've run the biggest scam in world history of
Yep.
saying diamonds are valuable, which they weren't. Because once they colonized Africa, they found diamonds everywhere. So
I
they
would be
were
willing to
fine.
bet, without evidence, I would be willing to bet that there are multiple corporations that have employed that strategy and we just don't know about it. We think that something is
Invested
like a
interests.
scarce commodity when it's not, but they actually
Mhm.
own it all and they control the
Well,
demand
at
and supply.
first, they say it's worth nothing and stuff, and then until they can buy it all up, and then they restrict
Yep.
it all, and then say it's valuable.
It's the same. It's a similar, not the same. It's a similar idea of creating the situation to where people lose their home and their farmland, and then scooping up all that property for a cheap price, and then like jacking it up. It's similar idea.
You know what you were
How the rich
talking
get rich.
about. You know what you were talking about earlier, Gads, about squeezing circuits onto pieces of silicon, for example. In the future, it won't be silicon; it'll be diamond. That they're
Yeah,
gonna
a
use.
diamond etch. They'll etch it with a laser, basically. And on the
Basically,
diamond.
yeah, that's right.
Hmm.
Very interesting video. I suggest
it-
have a look.
If you look how electronics work, all it is gates that open and close
Yeah.
randomly the electricity through. That's all a chip is. Just
Well,
letting energy through.
not so much randomly, but yeah,
Well, yeah, not randomly, but
yeah.
orderly.
Yeah.
I believe
Yeah.
that this is jumping into a separate topic, but just on randomness, and a lot of people disagree with me. It's fine if you do. I don't think I think that when it comes to nature, the world, the universe, even when it comes to quantum mechanics, randomness is a human concept. I don't think it exists. I think it only exists as a way for us to understand like a concept. I don't think
Almost
there is
split.
anything in existence, including quantum mechanics, that is actually random. It's just something that we can't understand its process. That's
Do you
my
believe in?
I
Do you
would
be-
love
do
to
you
have
be-
that argument with you at another time. That goes in depth.
I'm
Do you-
already 30 minutes over.
Do you, be- do you
the
believe in
double split
chaos
test.
and order, Trobs?
I do not believe in chaos in the sense that I just described, randomness. I
Well,
don't
chaos is
think
randomness. Chaos is randomness.
no,
Yeah.
hold on. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So a lot of
No,
people,
that's just a
I'm not
fucking-
gonna
yeah.
claim that this is your claim, but a lot of people tell me that quantum mechanics proves randomness. It does not. So
The quantum foam does.
it's a probability wave. Now the very fact that it's called a probability wave means that it's not random. It means that it behaves in a such a way that there's some structure to it. It's not chaos. I don't think that we have any means of actually proving chaos without there being a good counter argument to it.
With all
What do you mean
with
the
all
quantum
formulas,
waves are all
even the-
determined? That's
even
fair enough. I
Einstein's
understand
formulas.
that.
with every formula, you can use it to predict things, and that's
That's
really
with-
what you're doing.
Well surpasses
Order.
Einstein, though. He was 100 years ago. The quantum foam and the wave probabilities and the fact that we think that they're not even matter or energy anymore, and it's all probability waves like electrons, subatomic particles, and all that. They're not actually matter anymore. They're just a vibration in a quantum wave.
But
Yeah,
even
right?
if they're even
none
if
of
they're
that's Einstein.
that's fine. But even if they are a vibration in a quantum wave, that's not necessarily chaos.
Oh, I agree with you there. Like,
Okay.
I mean, yeah, that's where I come back to where you are. The matter and all that dissipating and the chaos and all that, yeah, it can definitely be perceived as random in my mind.
But I don't think
those
it
waves
actually
being
is.
generated
All
are
probability
generated
is-
for non-random reasons at their core. So the
All
stem and base
exactly.
of everything
And if
tends
there
to
is
be non-random. I agree with you again.
if there is
But
anything
I
that
don't
is
know, obviously.
well, I concede the same thing. I'm not claiming I know anything, but this is based on what I've seen and just my own way of thinking, my perception, and I'm limited by my own experience, knowledge, and all that good stuff. But from my view, I think when people go, this is random, this is chaos, they have like a placeholder in their brain. It's like nothing. Nothing is not a thing. Look,
A random wave having a pattern means that it can't stem from a random source.
Maybe it's the probability that you're having trouble with. You know, probability is really only following a formula to its conclusion.
Right.
You can make
The
predictions.
probability pattern is the same as the wave pattern.
True.
So a probability pattern has a non-random source.
Right.
Maybe
Well, you can. I think you can apply this to anything, and if we can't, I can't prove this, but if we can't, I think it's just knowledge we haven't yet discovered.
Maybe if it's probability, if it's got a probable conclusion, you can't accept that in some ways because if it's got a probability, then it must be false. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no. If it has a probability, by definition, it cannot be chaos because probability is literally defined by it not being random. Like the
probability has a pattern, and
yeah,
the
exactly.
pattern can't be random if it's got a pattern.
Thank you. Like I'm terrible at simplifying.
The same.
Exactly. That's the best way to put it right there. That
the
is my
pattern always occurs regardless of what's going through. What the cause of the interference pattern is, which means therefore it's not a random thing.
Right. So
we also know that if you have enough chaos, you create order.
Yeah.
Well, I can't even submit to that because I don't believe in chaos. So it's like
the chaos is generated by non-random things.
Yes. So what I hear when I see that, this is my perspective. I'm not claiming I'm right, but from my perspective, you're saying when order that we don't understand is something order like that. That's how it comes from my perspective, because to me, I don't think that we can demonstrate chaos. I think it's only like hey, I don't understand.
the complete lack of order.
No, I think that the universe is order. We just don't understand it. I can't prove that, but that's what I believe.
Most things are chaotic because, I mean, nothing can live in space. I mean, it's just, everything's just chaos.
So, okay, I think that's an issue. That's word ambiguity. We're talking about two different things.
That we're important in space.
Yeah,
sort
We're
of.
important
like,
in space.
yeah,
We're
like
important to be
everything,
here,
like
to do our thing here, whatever that
That
thing
doesn't
is.
really describe
the
chaos
formation
completely,
of
but
planets and everything in space is just chaos.
I missed that, Andy.
Yeah.
Sorry, Andy.
I think I could
did
be
you say?
wrong, but I think the problem there is chaos is ambiguous, and I think we're describing two different things when we're using it. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
So chaos is defined in physics as behavior so unpredictable as to appear random. Jesus Christ, I just got
It's
defeated.
only appear, though, isn't it?
That means I got defeated. That means the actual definition in physics includes that it doesn't have to be random. It only has to appear random, which means I'm incorrect.
Yeah.
No, that means that it can't. That it doesn't have to be random.
Well,
That means
yeah.
that you are correct.
Well, yeah, but
It means that it appears random, but that's
you're
just
right.
saying
You're right.
ad
So
populum. This is
you're right.
because
You're
it's
right.
so complex because there's so many components now,
So
and we can't follow them all. It
you're
appears
right. You're
random,
right.
but
At
every
a
single one
quantum
of those
level,
components is something that is non-random.
You're
This
right.
molecule
So
hit
let
this
me
molecule and it
change. Let me
deflects this
change my
way for
position
that
here.
reason.
at a quantum level, you can't actually observe anything.
No, but we can observe that the quantum level shares the same pattern every time,
Yeah.
which takes away the random.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're right, Odd. So let me change to.
I do agree
haven't
with you,
been.
though, Andy.
I haven't
It
been
depends if
proven
you're looking at
incorrect.
just the quantum or not, but we're not. We're looking at the overall, right?
Yeah.
So that means,
I think
therefore,
my
then
issue is
it's
the
not random.
word. The word itself. I don't like it because
It is a
it's-
shit.
because chaos as a concept is supposed to describe complete disorder to where there's no pattern, no nothing. Yet it's in the definition, at least in physics. It can appear random, but not be, and still be called chaos. Why the fuck would you define something that way?
Oh, well, a weather forecast, that's considered chaos, right?
I think Zinch is playing with your mind trobs.
What?
It's just because it's hard calculation.
I think the key word here is appear. It may, it may appear.
Exactly.
It may appear to be chaos, but then at a quantum level, what you see, what appears to be, isn't so.
That's what I believe. Again, I can't prove it, but I don't think
like
anything is actually chaos.
The double slit experiment to me still boggles my mind because state matter is always in like both states.
Well, so
Man,
what
you
it
can
does.
do that interference pattern with basketballs, dude. It's not just light. Hey, it's they tested it and went up and up and up.
Right, but
I've seen the basketball one, or tennis balls. I think it was. I saw they fired tennis balls or something, but the same
It's
result.
pretty impressive,
anyway.
though. It's no longer photons or electrons or atoms. We're talking. This is everything in the universe.
That's why I think we're in a simulation. This is like I've had too many.
It's not the simulation proof. It's the proof that all matter is energy, and all energy is matter.
I agree with that claim, but I will say that outside of this specific point that we're going on, there is decent evidence, not proof, but there's decent evidence that we may be in a simulation.
Yeah, there's no reason to even go further with that argument, though, because you can't find any more proof or any more. The conversation.
Here's another thing. Here's another thing for you, Trobs, though. Does it actually matter whether we're in a simulation or not?
Exactly.
We've got a perceived reality. Does it matter whether it's a simulation or it is?
That is a good point. And I think that the answer is going to be subjective. It depends on what you value. So I can only speak for myself. To me, truth in of itself is important, valid, and probably, in my opinion, it's more important than anything. Truth itself, knowing that what you think is true is actually objectively true, is more important than anything. Now, a lot of people will disagree with that. They'll say there's actually other things that are more important. And the people that disagree with me would probably say, I don't give a shit. As long as it appears like I can't tell any
The Cypher,
way.
like Cypher and Matrix, how he didn't care that he was in
Mm-hmm.
a simulation. He just knows that
I'm
beef is like beef, and
I'm kind of in that camp. I don't care if it's a simulation or not. My perceived reality is the same, whether it is or not.
Right.
I don't care for my universe, but now I'm in this universe, I will go for truth. And the reason is because I've already done this fucking solipsism crap before many times, and you cannot go any further than that with your
what if you're
way
in a
of thinking.
repeating cycle?
What if we
You're just stuck
possibly?
in it.
Yeah, exactly. It's only ever what if, though. You can't get further than what if.
Yeah, it's gonna delete your memories each time and then restart you over. Basically, say you die, you're reborn.
The end
again and
outcome
again.
is what we are experiencing now, though, right? So all of these what ifs just lead to what we experience now.
So hold on. Are you automatically assuming, and maybe you're not, are you automatically assuming that if we are in a simulation, that there would be absolutely no way of proving it? Because I think that is an assumption. What's that assumption based on? If that is, I might be misconstruing your position. Like,
no, you got that right. And the reason that I believe we couldn't prove it is because we could already make a simulation where the inhabitants couldn't prove it. And I'm assuming that the simulation.
I heard the phone buzz.
yeah, it seems like it got cut off or something. Or
maybe he lost power.
Maybe. That sucks. It was I was into that one.
Seems like he's dropped out. Yeah.
Maybe. Unfortunately, it's kind of rude. He was in the middle of a point. I need to use this as my time.
Was interesting as well.
It is. Well, that's what always gets me. We tend to get into something deep that gets my brain going, and then I can't fucking leave, and now I'm 40 minutes over. So I have to use this moment, this break, and just go, guys, I have to go.
Alrighty.
Sorry.
It's fapping time.
It's fapping time. Sorry, guys. I appreciate it. It was a great conversation. Very interesting, as usual.
The quick answer, if you're there, the quick answer was the simulation that we would be in would be more complicated than one that we could generate. And we can already generate simulations that the inhabitants can't tell that they're in, like computer games. No computer game character you run knows that they're in a computer game, right? So
if you don't mind, no, actually, I was going to ask you to put it in Discord. I don't need to, because I can just watch this video over again. Let me think about that. Let me run that. That's a pretty complicated concept that you just gave, at least from my perspective, because I haven't thought about it in that way. So I need to kind of.
Well, now imagine if AI was developing the simulations at a much more higher scale. Like if you had a data center of basically,
you're not going to find your way out, man.
Exactly, they're going to cover all those.
That's my reckoning. But
we could just theorize,
brother. I just wanted to at least get the punchline.
Oh yeah.
My microphone finally died. It's the first time I've ever run out of power. It's supposed to last 14 hours. It only lasted 3.
Damn.
Wow.
Well, guys, you know how I am about truth, so I'm going to have to be real here. I said that I'm leaving because, I've ran past the time. That's not the entire truth. This is the truth right here.
You don't have to.
Jamie scares the fuck out of me. He's a dangerous, scary man. And I can't handle the guy. He fucking, he gives me the hibby fucking jibbies. Let's put it that way. And I don't want him up here fucking hurting my feelings. So I've got to roll.
It's okay, Trobs. We understand.
Take it easy, guys. I'll see you next week if you're available.
All right.
Yeah. Cheers, guys.
See you, brother.
Bye. See ya.
Till then, live long and prosper.